And with that being said, we need to remember our community and the people that's hurting and the things going on around the world. And with that being said, Thomas, you want to do our prayer?
Sure. Be honored to. Let's pray. Dear most gracious Heavenly Father, we just come to you this morning with humble hearts, asking for your guidance and wisdom as we are called here to serve you in this capacity. And we just pray that the decisions that we make today would first be honoring and glorifying to you in your name, that they would be helpful to our community, to help us to grow and prosper, and it would be good for the constituents in which we serve, Lord, that this would be a wonderful community to live, to raise a family, and to work. Lord, we need your wisdom to make the decisions of the day that would help us to achieve that, and we ask for that now. Lord God, we do lift up to you that there are many on our hearts that are suffering, that are sick, and need a healing hand, and we would just pray and lift them up today and pray that your healing would be upon them. We just pray, Lord, that you would use us to help those who are in need, Lord. You have graciously given to us, and may we graciously give to those around us who we know are in need. Lord, we ask that you be with our servicemen and women who proudly serve and protect our freedoms that we have here in this country. We thank you for those who've already served and given their time and some even their lives. And we're just mindful of those men and women of our country who do so. Lord God, just pray that you go before us now, guide our steps, and may all that we do, again, Lord, just be glorifying to you. We pray this in the wonderful name of our Savior, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Okay, let's call back together with the pledge to the American flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, again, welcome to Logan County Fiscal Court, and one of the first things we need to do, we need to amend the agenda, removing item number 13, and that's a resolution of insurance of industrial revenue bonds.
We're removing it?
Yeah.
What do you say, Jay?
I was going to say mine only goes to 7. You mean, I got to flip it over?
I didn't want to read that. I didn't realize you could be it.
No, I just got here.
Okay, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second. Any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Logan,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Next item of business is minutes of the previous meeting, April the 12th, 2022.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, got a motion to approve, and we got a second. Now, is there any questions? Okay, not hearing any, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Logan,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, today we got Highway Department District 3 with us. We've got Joe Plunk, the chief engineer. We got Lucas that's getting up. And then we got Tim with us this morning. And so we'll go ahead and hopefully get some good news.
Thank you for having us today. As he said, I'm Lucas Gillum. I'm the engineer here in the Russellville section office that oversees Logan County. Just to give you a quick kind of status report on all things KYTC here in Logan County. I'll give you an update on last year's rural secondary projects. Last year we presented 4 projects for within Logan County. two of which were grade and drain improvements, one along Kentucky 1151 from 6880 to Highland Lick Road. The other was along Kentucky 1293 from Kentucky 107 to US 431. Both of those projects are scheduled to start within the next couple of weeks with an anticipated completion date of August 1st, 2022. We have another project along Kentucky 103. It is asphalt resurfacing from US 6880 in Auburn to Kentucky 1038, and that is anticipated to be completed June 30th of this year. And then continuing on from that section of 103, from 1038 to Kentucky 79, we had a grade and drain project along that stretch. It is currently ongoing now. It would likely have been completed by now, but we were delayed some throughout the winter months. Unfortunately, as many of you know, that area was hit pretty hard by the tornadoes back in December, and that project was delayed due to storm cleanup. Fortunately, due to the hard work of our crews and some of the neighboring counties, we had Simpson and Todd County allowed their inmate crews to come in and assist with the cleanup. We were able to get that area cleaned up pretty quickly and get the contractor back to work. So that is scheduled to be completed by June 30th as well. Let's see. As far as upcoming FD05 resurfacing, we have Kentucky 3233, which is the Emerson bypass from US 431 to 68X scheduled. That is anticipated to be completed on November 15th of this year. We have a preventative maintenance project scheduled for 6880 from the 25-mile marker to the Warren County line. That is anticipated to be completed September 30th of this year. That's going to be an asphalt thin lay similar to the section just before that was completed. On Kentucky 79 South, from the bypass to roughly the 10-mile marker, it's about a mile-long stretch. We have what we call a fiber mat resurfacing project. It's another form of preventative maintenance. And the anticipated completion date for that is September 30th of this year. As far as ongoing projects, we have a crosswalk project and sidewalk installation that is being done at Russellville High School right now to provide a crosswalk from the school to the Arby's side of the road there. That was something that was pushed through a funding for safety improvements near schools, and so that crosswalk should be completed within the next couple of weeks. And then another project that we have that should be starting within the next week or two is at the intersection of 9th and Nashville Road and the intersection of 9th and Main. We will be doing two rehab projects there at those intersections to correct the rutting issues and things that are going on at those intersections. That, like I mentioned, is scheduled to start within the next couple of weeks and is scheduled to be completed by June 30th of this year. Moving into our fiscal year 2022-2023 for our rural secondary program. For Logan County, we had a project allotment this year of $1,676,770. Last year, unfortunately, we were around $113,615 over our allotted budget from last year, so that amount is deducted off of this year's amount. That brings our total funds available to $1,563,155. Of that amount, we have $754,500 that are allotted for routine maintenance and traffic on our rural secondary roads here in Logan County. There are $3,875 allotted for the county judge expenses. And then the flex funds for the county to use at their discretion, there was $251,516 allotted for this year. So once all that is taken out of the overall allotment, we were left with around $550,000 to spend on our projects. And our proposed projects for this year are to resurface the 2.46 mile stretch of Kentucky 103 from 1038 to Kentucky 79. That's the section that we're finishing up the grade and drain work on now, replacing pipes and things of that nature. So once that work is completed, we'd like to come through and resurface that section. And then we would like to also resurface 2.325 miles of Kentucky 1293, which is another section we're doing grade and drain work on right now. And that would go from 107 to R. Adler Road, which is just past Lake Malone Road there near Shady Cliff. That is our heavier traveled section of that road with a lot of people going to and from Shady Cliff. And so we set that section as our high priority on that road. We wanted to, pave the entire section, all 5 miles this year, but unfortunately the funding wasn't there, so we picked the higher ADT section to go with. And those are our 2 proposed routes for this year. And other than that, that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
I have a question about when you mentioned that resurface Fenway. I know that's kind of new. How does that work, and what are y'all?
So we're actually seeing a lot of great success with that. I'm a big fan of it myself. Really, the difference is, typically with our asphalt resurfacing, we're doing around a 1-inch overlay. With the thin lay, it is a 5/8 inch to 3/4 of an inch, depending on what the project calls for, ADT counts and things. And so it's not a significant difference in thickness, but the good thing about with the thin lay is we require what we call a virgin mix, and so it doesn't have any of the recycled asphalt millings and things mixed into that mix. So in my opinion, even though you're getting a little bit of a thinner lift, you're getting a better product, better asphalt mix put down. And obviously, like I said, it's not a huge difference, but when you're going 3/4 of an inch compared to an inch over the course of several miles, that tonnage adds up, and we're able to do a little bit more with the funding available.
Even though it's a virgin mix?
It is a little bit cheaper, yes, just because of the different aggregates and obviously, like I said, the thickness of the course we're putting down. So we've had a lot of success with it. Anything else?
Okay. Only question I got, and it might not be determined yet, what will be the county's allotment this year? As far, do you have that number?
Yes, sir. The county's allotment for this year was $251,516.
Okay, well, I got that. I just didn't know what the fuel tax allotment would be.
Oh,
You don't have that number yet? Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Other than that, thank you, Lucas. Do we need to go ahead and approve this for y'all's record?
As long as it's in the minutes, that would suffice for our needs. You don't have to really vote on it per se, unless you choose to do so.
I think we acknowledge
We can
that.
acknowledge it.
Okay, we just need to acknowledge yes then.
I'll make a motion to acknowledge the rural secondary program for fiscal year 22 to 23.
Second.
Okay, any questions? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Logan,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, we've got the Logan County Airport Board here today that would like to give us a brief report this morning and things going on at the airport.
Thank you, Judge. It's been a while since we've been up here. We just wanted to update you guys on where we are. We have a new project coming up, and we're going to approach this project a little differently than we have in the past because of the interest in moving forward at a faster pace on it than we typically would do. I've got George Offit, board member, with me, and Miss Cassie Sobey, the airport manager, is with us today. She's prepared most of this presentation, and as well as the handout. She presented these flyers at a presentation at the state capitol earlier this year. Since 2002, the Fiscal Court's been very supportive of the airport board, and we appreciate that. We look forward to continuing support. Over the past 19 years, the airport board's been fortunate enough to participate in $10,254,000 in capital improvements. $237,971 of that's been from local funds, 2.3%, half of which is from the city and half from the county. And again, we appreciate that financial support. We're here today to request support for a community hangar. We're not asking for any money today. We'll use the funding we currently receive to match federal grants. But what we're going to do this time, instead of carrying grants over from year to year to build this community hangar, we're going to get a local loan. We're going to get a loan, and we're going to pay for it through grants from the federal government. We get an airport improvement program grant for the amount of $150,000 a year, and this information is in the handout. And then also last year, the federal government passed a bipartisan infrastructure law, which was $100 million for national infrastructure projects, of which Logan County Airport qualified for $159,000 for 5 years. So we use those two grant sources to pay the principal of this loan. And then we'll pay the interest through airport income revenue from hangar rental and fuel sales. The hangar we're looking at is estimated by our engineering company to cost $1.5 million, and they put together a fairly detailed estimate included in the handout. The federal government doesn't allow their grant money to be used to pay interest, so that's why the airport board's going to pay this interest. Now, to get this loan, we have no collateral to put up as a county government. So what we're going to need and what we're here asking for today is for the county support as a co-signer on this loan. We've got everything planned out where the airport will be fully self-sufficient in paying this loan back. Should anything happen, the county, and then we plan also to present to the city the same presentation, would back us up on this loan should anything fail to occur. We're also going to meet with the federal government, the FAA in Memphis. We've talked to them on the phone several times, as well as our engineering company who's talked with them, and assure us that these 5 years of grants are going to be there. And we believe that from rental from this new hangar of around $4,000 a month, that will help us pay the interest for this loan over the next 5 years. Again, the reason for this is we've got a local aviation company, Romeo Bravo Aviation, and they do a lot of flying for local companies here. There's a list of the companies, the local companies that they've served. And what we'd like to do is retain this company, this Romeo Bravo Aviation. We think it's an asset to the county and to the city. It provides access for local business to travel to and from Logan County. Right now, they're also seeking their commercial air charter license so that individual citizens can buy tickets to fly wherever they like to go. But they've currently got 3 aircraft hangared out there. We've got a turbine single engine, we've got a turbine twin engine, and they've got a single engine 6-seater. They recently purchased a 14-seat King Air, and they're housing it in Tennessee right now because they don't have room to put it here at Russellville. They'd like to bring it to Russellville, but they could also just as easily move everything to Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, and then commute there to take care of their business. We'd like to retain them here in the county. Again, I think as I've said, I think they're a strong asset to the aviation community as well as the business community, and soon to be just anyone who'd like to fly somewhere. So we see this as a crossroads. If we lose this company, if they move out of state, That'll be a significant revenue loss to the airport. And the FAA pushes for local airports to be as self-sufficient as possible, and we've become very self-sufficient over the past few years, thanks in large part to hangar rentals and fuel sales. I believe their fuel sales, Cassie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe their fuel sales are around $70,000 a year. And with the new aircraft, we anticipate a 30% increase in that, as well as hangar rental. And again, not asking for additional funding today. We are asking that the fiscal court consider co-signing on this loan for us, for the airport board to build this hangar in support of the local aviation community. This is the first presentation that we've made in a series. We're gonna actually go down to Memphis and meet with them face to face. We've talked to them several times over the phone. We're going to Frankfurt to meet with the Kentucky Department of Aviation, and we're going to meet with the Russellville City Council and give the same presentation. We want to make sure everybody's on board and that we have the support of the county and the city before we move forward with this loan idea. And again, I told you, Judge, we'd keep this brief, and I think that's about as brief as I could keep it, unless there are any questions.
No, I'm 100% supportive myself. I mean, I think that the airport is a large part of the equation of growth of Logan County. It just really is, more than what you know, because, you know, the businesses look at that when they want to figure out they want to place their business here, and that brings growth, it brings jobs, so 100%, no question for me.
And it is just one piece in the matrix
Yeah.
that makes a community accessible and attractive to
I
industry.
got a question too.
Yes, sir.
I noticed you said it would hold 4 or 5 more jets. Who owns these planes? All the companies, the individuals?
It's a aviation company named Romeo Bravo, and there's a partnership with local industry where local industry are partner owners in these aircraft.
Or they pay so much then that you get rent for storing their planes, is that right?
Yes, sir. Rent and fuel sales. And they're also, as part owner, these businesses have so many hours they're available to fly in these aircraft, but also when they get their FAA Part 135 air charter license, they'll be able to open up flights to the general public who might be interested in flying somewhere.
Question on the asset. So if Romeo Bravo Company has an inventory of 3 to 5 planes, where is the property tax for that plane being paid?
It's being paid to the state of Kentucky and to Logan County. And if these aircraft move, then of course that would go with them too.
Okay, so if they were in Warren County, they would go to the state of Kentucky and Warren County.
Exactly, yes.
So I'm trying to figure out how these are moving pieces of equipment. You know, Scotty's the one that educated me on this. You know, you buy a car in Tennessee, you always want to request that you have it licensed in Logan County. If not, that tax went to the place that you bought it, although it's being used here in Logan County. So just point to everybody, even if you buy it in Warren County, just simply ask that they license it. So what do y'all have to do to ensure that that asset is, for lack of a better word, because I don't know, licensed in Logan County? What determines that?
Cass.
Come on.
Every year we have to update the FAA database and tell them which aircraft are based at our hangar. And from that, I think your PDA takes that and then taxes them for that. And I think it's just under about a 1% tax. So if you're talking of an aircraft worth $5 million, that's a lot of money to the local county.
So it's nothing that the plane owner is doing to register. He's not registering it and saying, hey, this thing's home base is in some tax haven country outside the United States.
No, it's all based on the FAA database and where it's hangared.
Okay.
And we have to report.
Yeah, you can look on that FAA database, and if you see an N number on an airplane, you can look it up on the FAA database, and it tells you who the owner, where their address is. As a matter of fact, there's been a move in recent years by the state government particularly along the northern border. A lot of people want to keep their aircraft in Indiana, across the river from Louisville, and also in Cincinnati. And there's been a push to bring those aircraft back for the tax revenue and the fuel revenues.
And also, as you see in the handout, the proposed, right now, these are turboprop that we got. And if we can make this hangar and improve the facility, they're looking to purchase these 2 jets or aircraft like that. They're actually be the turbine jets, which of course are a lot more expensive aircraft. And they hope to have it where they can base them here.
What's your time period on this?
Aggressively, we'd like to see it sometime late fall. Realistically, I think it'll be more this time next year. But if we could get it by late fall, we plan to move immediately. We're gonna call the FAA and schedule a meeting with them this week. Not the meeting this week, but we'll schedule it with them. And then the Kentucky Department of Aviation as well. I believe we're on the agenda for the City Council. And again, the airport board has a funding plan, thanks to our manager, Cassie. She's laid out the funding plan in this handout, which shows that it'll be fully paid for by the airport. And the city and county will be co-signing should anything occur that, prevented that from happening.
Okay, and you will have the assurance that you can use that money.
Yes, and that's why we're going to meet over the phone and talking with Corey Hudlett at FAA. He assures me so long as we follow the federal procurement guidelines, which we do in every project through our engineering firm. We're a bunch of volunteers who don't know that much about it, so we trust and lean on our aviation engineering firm, Garver, who are very expert and well-versed in the rules of these type of projects.
Okay, of course, there's a whole lot here to comprehend, and then we're gonna have to do some research ourselves.
Certainly, understand that.
Another thing, there's gonna be an election in 21 days.
I've heard about that.
The new judge will be elected in 21 days, and hopefully that person can sit in on the meetings on this if we move forward with it.
And if we need to, we can present it again.
I don't think it needs to be presented again. This court can make that decision. I'm like the judge here, we've never co-signed a note. But
it's new for us, too.
I'm willing to be first, but I'm 100% supportive of it, but we probably do need to run that by KCO.
Exactly.
To find out what legally, for your sake as well, and make sure that I'm like Tyler, I 100% support it. It's a huge asset. It's in my district. I'm very proud of it.
Well, thank you.
My heart, as well. But it's a good business plan. I think, and again, y'all are showing paying this off in 5.5 years. I mean, it's pretty darn aggressive.
Pretty aggressive.
And you're all willing to fight that off. It's awesome. I saw on your business plan you have 3% on the interest. Have y'all spoken with someone? Does that seem reasonable?
That was a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I spoke to one of the banks, and he said that that's sort of the interest rate that they would look at, but obviously would have to be bidded out. So hopefully we can get a better rate. I'm not sure if that's possible.
Yeah, we just tried to use that as a base to get an idea of something, how to get it started, because we've tried to check as many avenues as we could.
You got a banker here, so.
Let me go back.
Co-signing notes,
Shoot, yeah, man, I'm all about it.
I want to back up and touch on one thing. I say this is new for us. It's not actually new. The terminal building was built much this way, in that we had a bond issue. The state had a bond issue, whereas the Logan County Fiscal Court and the City Council co-signed or assured that those bonds would be paid if the state, for some reason, were not able or decided not to make those payments. So we've done something similar to this in the past.
Courthouse is doing.
Yes, exactly, the same way. Yeah. Yeah.
And we went 10 years, I think it's 10 years on terminal building.
We didn't go, so we're actually the bond holder. The state
Yes.
just promised us to give us the money.
Yes.
So far, they've done it.
So far,
It's a third project budget in our budget table. And I don't know whether this would require that or not. I mean, it's a lot of research we're gonna have to follow.
all right.
Well, y'all got a nice facility out there, just run well. It's very neat.
Well,
Do a good job.
and whenever I hear that y'all have got a nice facility, I like to say we've got a nice facility because, as we all know, though we may not come out there very frequently, it's for the entire county.
That's right.
But
That's what Thomas, he keeps on claiming it, but it's
Yeah,
Logan County.
yeah, thank you. Well, that's all I've got unless there are any more questions. And please feel free to contact any one of the board members or Cassie if something comes up, and we'd be glad to sit down with you and talk about this in more detail or to clarify anything.
Steve, tell them about the grants we just got from the state for improvements that we had out there.
Yeah, we received several grants from the state over the years that are 100% state funded. Most recently was to rehab two of the oldest hangars out there, one of them from the 1970s and one of them from around 1989 or 2000. But again, we keep close contact with the state and the FAA. And this board is considered one of the more active general aviation boards in the state. And for that reason, we stay on top of things. And for that reason, we're given consideration many times when discretionary grants become available. They'll look to us and ask if we've got anything that we need taken care of. So we've worked hard to build that relationship, and we'd like to maintain it. And going to Frankfurt and going to Memphis to meet with FAA is just part of how we do that.
We appreciate what y'all do. I know y'all do that free and volunteer, and we appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Well, I think, like I said,
We just need to see Keiko and-
Get it to the judge
Yeah.
and let him run it to Keiko and see how that kind of works on our end. I'll support it.
Yeah. We hope it works out. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, George, Casey. Okay, next item is Kelly Harden's here to present the health insurance rates for 22 and 2030. So, Kelly?
Good morning. And it's that time of year again. You guys, it's good to see me once a year. So we're going to go over your renewal this year. Just to remind you that a couple of years ago, we went into what we call a partially self-insured program. And with that means there are a number of moving parts internally in this program. The insurance committee, we spend a couple of hours going through each part of this. My challenge when I come to visit with you today is how deep to get into those specifics and how to communicate properly what the renewal looks like. So today I'm going to keep it fairly high level. I'll offer to go as deep as you want to, or if you want to sit down one-on-one, we can spend 2 or 3 hours. As the insurance committee can attest, we can spend 2 or 3 hours digging through all the moving parts. So you should have some material in front of you. And I'm just going to start with the top number. So the overall increase based on maximum claims, okay, so there's going to be some terms we're going to talk about through here. We have expected claims and maximum claims. Maximum claims are the worst case scenario for the court. Based on maximum claims, we're looking at an 8.6% increase. Now that does not translate into an actual 8.6. That would be if we maxed out in the worst case scenario that the entire program just was collapsing. The reason for that increase primarily was because of something we call specific insurance. Now, again, I have to get a little detailed. I'm going to try not to get too deep. Stop me, make me go back and say it again. Specific reinsurance, we buy insurance from Anthem in case we have a bad year. So when we say partially self-insured means we pay part of it, meaning the county, and then Anthem says, well, in a really bad year, we've got your back. We buy what we call reinsurance. Well, one of those reinsurances is called specific. Now, the way I remember specific is this. It's specific on any one person. So we basically bought insurance that says, any one person, we're responsible, the plan is responsible for the first $100,000. After $100,000 on that one person, Anthem pays, okay? So it's called specific on one person. We had a pretty good increase on that specific. Now remember, that's just one piece of all the moving parts, and you can see it was a 39.9% increase. We had one very large claim this last year that Anthem paid on, and it is going to be ongoing. And for that reason, Anthem felt like they needed to increase pretty substantially on that one line item. I pushed them on it when we talked about some of the specifics, which obviously I can't share here. That's a valid number. So it looks like a huge number, 39%, but you got to remember that's one piece of the puzzle. When you take all the moving parts, it comes out to an 8.6%. But again, that's based upon worst case scenario, which I can't say we're not going to hit, but it's extremely rare that a group hits that worst case scenario. You can also see administration fees actually went down this year. It's a negative 7.7%. There were some startup items last year that we had that went away. Anthem gave us some credits on their administration fees. So we actually had a decrease on administration fees. We had an increase on one of our two reinsurances, one being specific, the other is the aggregate, the maximum, but the specific's the one that got us. If you look down on item B, it breaks out the cost by category. Our admin cost represents 4% of the cost of the plan. Now, these, again, are based on maximum claims. So only 4% of the cost of this plan is administration to run the machine. That's pretty small. 24% is for the reinsurance. Now, that went up a little bit based upon that specific reinsurance we talked about. So 24% is for reinsurance. But 72% of the cost of our plan is actual claims. That's what we can't predict. That's the variable. You know, it could be, the claims could be up, could be down, we don't know. We know we have protection on any one person, but we have multiple people get sick, then that number is going to vary up and down. Does that make sense? So I can't tell you exactly the number that it'll be because we don't know what claims will be in the coming year. It's based upon what that claims looks like through that 12-month period. I'm going to pause there for a second. Any questions? Okay, so let's look at claims history. Let's talk about expected claims and maximum claims. The way Anthem, and this is item number 2, the way Anthem looks at the worst case scenario is the first thing they do is they choose a number and say, this is where we expect Logan County to be. That's their expected. That's where they really think you'll be, somewhere in that area. Then they add 25% on top of that and say, here's your worst case. So expected and maximum. So we always look at how are we running to expected, how are we running to maximum claims. So that's the two terms. So item A shows that right now, max claims, now this is through March, data lags a little bit, right? Through March, we're running 86% of maximum. That's our worst case scenario, 86%. However, our expected claims, where Anthem thought we'd be, we're running at 107%, 108%. Okay, and we've got some pretty significant claims coming in the next couple of months. So that number will probably go up some. Now, that's total claims. Now, we go to item B. If we look at item B, you remember I told you we're capped at 100,000 on any one person? Well, if we take out what Anthem reimbursed, then we can see that our maximum claims drop to 47, and our expected drops to right under 60, 59.8. So that shows you what one or two claimants can do. And so that specific reinsurance, where they pick up anything over 100,000, was pretty significant this year. And when I went back to negotiate down that increase on specific, when we looked at what's going on, we expect some additional claims coming in the coming year. So overall, it wasn't a bad renewal. If we look at all the moving parts, it was a very good renewal, except for that one moving part, which was the specific insurance. Any questions on that? Again, it can get pretty detailed, and I know there's a lot of terms I'm throwing out. One of the moving parts is claims reserves. Because we're self-funded, there are going to be years that are going to be bad. I mean, this year was not a bad. We had one large claimant. but we can have bad years, and it will happen. It's not if, it's when. So one of the things we have to do is build up reserves, so when we had that bad year here and there, we have extra money to pay for those. And we built up a reserve, and I'm going to ask Amanda, the reserve right now is about $540,000. Yeah, reserves are right at $540,000. Now, that's money we would have normally sent to who? Anthem. Now, that's not money that you can go dip into and pay for other items. That is reserves for this plan. That is just in case, not just in case, we are going to have a bad year here and there. So that's money to dip into if we need to when things get tough. Now, I know that there is a maximum that we want to look at reserves, and the insurance committee has recommended that if we have $1 million in reserves, that should keep us very safe, and I would totally agree with that. So we're there halfway. In another year or two, I think we'll be there. At that point, we can discuss, how we fund. But right now, we want to continue to fund as if we're going to hit worst case scenario, that maximum. Now, we're not going to hit maximum. That extra money, it goes into our reserves so that when we do have that bad year, we've got that money ready to go. And again, that's money that we would have paid Anthem. And you know what Anthem calls that kind of money? Profit. Right. So the good thing about being self-funded is in good years, that money stays with us. The bad thing about self-funding is bad years, yes, we have reinsurance, but eventually that's going to catch up with us. So we have to make sure we've got money in reserves over time. So I'd say in another couple of years, we keep running like we are now. In another 2 years, we should probably be at our $1 million. At that point, we'll really be at reserves where we need to be, and we can discuss then whether you want to fund it at the maximum or not at that point. But that's a couple of years off. Everybody good with that so far? Make sense? We go to the next page. So what are the recommendations? And this is recommendations from the insurance committee and committee. If I misspeak, please correct me. We had 3 recommendations. One is to continue to fund to max claims, okay, to the maximum claims. Again, that extra that doesn't get spent doesn't go to Anthem. It goes into our reserves. No changes to plan designs. We've bounced around last couple of years for the employees, leave the plans completely the same, and leave the employee funding the same as well, so the employee's portion. So essentially, we're saying from the employee's perspective, nothing changes. Nothing's going to change. The question always is our claims going to be higher or lower in a particular year? And of course, we just don't know that. What we do is we take the best guess, and they have actuaries and underwriters who look at this. The underwriters say on an overall picture, they expected a 3% increase over the year. So that's not bad. In our case, that's really good, 3%. I can tell you that most of the industry are in double digits this year, still reeling from COVID, as you can imagine. So we're recommending no changes from the employee's perspective, and that the fiscal court continues to fund at the max with the extra money going into reserves. Any questions on the health piece? Okay. Number 3 is there was no increase on dental or life insurance this year. So those we actually had a 2-year rate guarantee on both of those. I'm sorry. And vision, sorry, I didn't put vision on here, did I? Sorry. So on our ancillaries, on the items other than health insurance, we had no increases. In almost every case, we had a 2 or 3 year rate guarantee. So we were in our 2nd or 3rd year of that, depending on which product it is. So I'm sorry I left off vision here. So no increases beyond that. So from the employee's perspective, it's going to look and taste just like it does today. They're going to have the exact same plan. They're going to pay the exact same rates. No changes on the moving parts there. Amanda, anything else on that piece? That's really the health and what we call ancillary, the other items. There is a 3rd piece I want to talk about, which is the wellness. It's brought to our attention that there was a question around wellness and about the $25 differential in which that we charge for those that completed certain wellness tasks and those that did not complete certain wellness tasks. I do want you to pull this sheet out. It's about the 3rd sheet back.
I got a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes.
So as far as the wellness program goes, when someone completes that, if the county didn't do wellness at all, say we didn't do it, how much do you think, percentage-wise, that would affect taxpayers paying for this insurance? Would it be a lot more? in today's time.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to prove what didn't happen, so.
It's part of the equation.
It's part of the equation. When you're self-funded, the more we can do to get our employees to be engaged in their health and be proactive, the better off we are. So here's the tough thing about showing a return on investment on wellness. How do I prove, I'm gonna pick on Thomas, how do I prove that Thomas went to the doctor and found out he had high blood pressure and took care of it and never had that stroke or that major event, right? That it's hard to prove a negative. So yes, you're right. The more we can keep our employees engaged, the more they'll go to their primary care, the more they'll take care of issues early. It is better for them, of course, health-wise. They still stay healthier, but it absolutely impacts the bottom line of a self-funded plan. And every dollar that doesn't get spent in a claim stays where? With the county, which, as you said, is taxpayer dollars, right? So the whole point of this program is to engage our employees to be thinking about how they can be healthier. And one of the moving parts of that is we had certain items that we asked the employees to do in a certain time period. And a lot of this is very simple. So again, I'm going to ask you to reference this sheet. This is one of the sheets that were given to the employees. There were multiple presentations given. And I know Amanda sent out a number of emails saying, if you haven't got these done, you need to. It was very specific to the person. The 4 items we asked were an annual physical. By the way, guess what the cost is to the employee to get an annual physical? $0. The plan pays 100% of it. While you're there, get a biometric screening. That simply says get a blood draw, and that's where they do your cholesterol, your sugar. It just gives you a general of what's going on, and that gets sent in so that we can see as a group how we're doing. Health risk assessment. That's an online questionnaire. It takes 10 minutes maybe, not that. You go online, you just answer questions about your health, and last is just tell us your nicotine status, whether you do or don't use any kind of nicotine product. There's no difference in pricing whether you do or don't. It just lets us know whether you're using nicotine or not. Those are the 4 required elements. Okay, and there is a time period they need to be done by. And then if you see in the red right here, it says incentives. There's a $25 differential for those that do complete those 4 items and for those that do not. And that went in effect last year. So what happens is what you're doing this year impacts next year's rates. Okay, so this year what I'm doing, if I get those 4 items done, I get a $25 incentive, which brings my cost down to 0 for individual health insurance, for single. If I don't do those things, that incentive is no longer there, which then says that my cost is $25 per month or $12.50 per paycheck. Okay? Now, there was a question around that about whether or not we were doing this correctly, and there was 2 parts of this. One part is the plan itself follows all the guidelines set forth by the federal government. So we're good there. The question was around the deductions and whether that was clear or not in terms of deductions. It's a conversation point that I don't really want to say. Clearly, we made it clear on here that this is the way the program works. There was multiple presentations made, and I know that Cassie came and made multiple presentations around the county. Again, I know there was multiple emails that went out. However, the one piece that was overlooked was this part. Let me find it in here. I got all my papers. It was how we illustrate that from a deduction standpoint. Okay, there's 2 pieces of paper that I want us to take a look at. Trying to find my second one here. Yeah, I've got so many pieces of paper up here. Forgive me, just give me 1 second here. This has disappeared on me. So the first one is this, and then I may borrow one of yours because I don't know where it is in mine. This is one.
What you talking about?
Well, there was a secondary. Yeah, that one. It's stapled in. I thought it was separate. Okay, thank you. So there's 2 pieces of paper that the employee receives. One is when an employee comes through and they elect their insurance for the year. They sit down with our Colonial folks, and Colonial puts into the system everything that was elected. And I put some red boxes on here. So what happens is it shows everything that I elect as an employee, right? It shows me my deduction, which I've got an arrow to, and then you have all the verbiage at the bottom, all the language that says, I agree to this. And then there's a signature, okay? There's a signature. In this particular case, because we just didn't capture who had and had not completed wellness at that point, and so whether you had or had not was not captured here. So everybody showed 0, and they were notified later if they had or had not met it, okay? But the actual signature page did not show the actual $25 differential, okay? Secondarily, we have a more of a manual process here that looks like this, and there's 2 pages to it. Sorry, let me flip back. The front page, the first page, this is one that each employee will sign off on as well. It says that there will be moving forward 2 categories. One that shows with wellness at 0, one that shows not completing wellness at $25. Right now, it only shows the zeros. So maybe not as clear as it should have been. We feel like that we did communicate it, but on the actual signature pages, it wasn't on there. So we're going to update that this year as well. And on the second page at the bottom, the same language that's on the colonial form, we're going to add that at the bottom of this form. So when they sign on this, it says, yes, I approve this deduction. Okay? So an employee coming in this year will have 3 options. One will if they completed wellness, they'll be able to take employee only at 0 cost. Assuming that you approve the recommendations. The second option would be to take our insurance, or take the insurance, but they had not completed all the wellness requirements. That'll be $25, and they'll have to choose that, right? And we'll know whether they did or did not. And the third one will be to just waive the insurance, not take it, and then there's some money that comes with that. There's a waiver, HRA that goes with that. So that's going to be the three options. It will be clear at open enrollment whether or not you have completed. You will sign the appropriate one, and then that way, when and if the Department of Labor asks us, then we can show that the employee elected and approved to have that deduction removed from their paycheck. That was the real key here, is whether or not it was clear to the employee and the employee approved that deduction. We could argue whether or not it was clear or not, because we did a lot of communications, but where we weren't comfortable.
Was it not clear?
Yeah.
And I apologize, I missed the last meeting.
That's fine.
It's my fault. I blew that, I'm sorry. But how was that not clear?
Yeah. We felt like we made it clear, but from the department.
We did it here in the motion in the court.
Mm-hmm.
We did it to employees when they signed up for it. How is that not clear?
I
don't understand what's wrong with the way we're doing it now, I guess is what I'm asking.
When we met with the Department of Labor, and we had that call with the DO.
What's the Department of Labor got to do with it?
Because the Department of Labor is the one that you deal with when deductions come out of paychecks. So the Department of Labor, that's where a complaint was filed, was with the Department of Labor that we had taken money out of a paycheck where it had not been specifically approved by the employee.
Oh, so somebody's complaining.
Yeah, there was a complaint around that. So when we met with the Department of Labor,
So what do we have to do about that complaint?
The recommendation from the we could have sent all this material up and had it reviewed, or we could say maybe it just wasn't as clear as it should have been, which we're going to err on that side. And the recommendation, and again, I'm speaking for the committee, please correct me, is to go ahead and, yeah, you are part of the committee and you weren't there. But the recommendation of the committee was to go ahead and just refund the $25 for this year and make sure that these forms are very clear. And when they sign that, there's language all over it that says you agree that this is what you elected, and if you did not complete wellness, you agree that there's a $25 per month or $12.50 per paycheck deduction for your health insurance. So it's really...
What we did was successful, because when we did it voluntarily, it was voluntary. Hey, here's your wellness program, we did that for a year or better. Maybe you could argue we've done it for several years, but we implemented it and ran it well, really good for a year voluntarily. And
20%.
correct me if I'm wrong, but we had about 50, 60 people that didn't participate.
Yeah, we went from 20% to 80% participation.
Right, there you go. So-
By offering this an incentive to, yeah, it's an incentive. It's really just trying to get people to engage, right? And by creating that incentive, it just helps people engage into their own health. And ultimately, to the cost of their insurance. I mean, we could argue the reason there's no increase this year.
We're looking at $940 a month premium
Right.
per single employee. Now, that's a bunch of money.
It is.
That's a bunch of money, and, you know, the committee breaks their neck to come up with ways to save money, and this is a huge piece of that puzzle, you know, I mean, I mean, and I know the county doesn't, not the top, not paying, but they have the platinum benefit plan, and, you know, there's not too many people that's paying $940 a month for a platinum plan, health insurance, and we're asking people and paying them to do it, to do 4 things.
And
I don't
incentivizing.
understand the problem. I mean.
I can't answer all those
I like
questions.
the state
Great questions.
employee. She pays $186 every 2 weeks.
And what we're asking to do here was replicated by the, it's good, I'm glad you brought the
And she has
state.
to do a wellness program.
The state plan absolutely asks for this very similar requirements from their employees, and they have a wellness and a non-wellness rate. The only difference is they state what those are very clearly, where maybe we should have had it on the sheet. Again, I feel like that we made it clear that there was that $25 differential, but since on the signature pages it was not there, then the decision was we just go ahead and we're not, and in the scheme of things, we're talking about, and I don't have the number right here in front of me, it's over there, we're talking how much?
$3,720.
Yeah. So it's not, this is my perspective. It's,
That's
there's
on
no,
19 different employees.
right. When I say this is my perspective, not representing the court. On almost $1 million, $3,000 doesn't make or break, right? It's less about the $3,000. It's about getting people to engage, right? Getting people to engage in their own health. And so that's what we're trying to do is incentivize. We're not trying to be mean. We're not trying to be aggressive. We're trying to say, help us keep you healthy, help us keep the plan healthy so we can continue to offer a great plan at affordable rates to you and your family.
Yeah, I mean, it's important, I think, for the employees to get engaged in their health, but for me, I protect taxpayer dollars when I sit here. So if us doing this saves taxpayer money, and that's my job, part of my job, to make sure that we do it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the taxpayer's spending $10,000 a year for the program. It needs to be utilized.
Yeah.
Back to Thomas's point, we went from having 15 people doing it to now there's 15 people not. So, I mean, maybe if the deduction was more, we'd have 100%.
And that's what we're trying to avoid.
To avoid.
If we don't, fail, I mean,
And Kelly, this is something that's bigger than just Logan County and the state. Businesses engage in this.
Oh yeah, this is nationwide. Wellness there's nothing new here. And again, we follow the guidelines that are set by the federal government. We try to make sure we do all this legally, obviously. And I feel like it's legal, it just was a clarity issue.
But the reason businesses do that is for their bottom line.
Oh,
because
yeah.
these programs
Yeah.
have been shown to
Exactly.
increase
Exactly.
profits in all markets. That's why they do it.
Yeah. And once this program's completed, Cassie will create a report that, of course, there's no identification of any individuals in all this, and make sure everybody's clear on that. But there's no identification of an individual employee. What they'll do is we'll say, as a county, did we get better or worse in certain categories? And what we do is we try to look at the claims each year, what's driving our increases, and focus on that from a wellness perspective. And I'm just going to make this up. This is not, I've not looked at your numbers, but let's say diabetes is a big issue and driving a lot of our claims, then maybe we need to educate and focus more on diabetes types of chronic disease so that those employees can take better care of themselves, be healthier, be more engaged at work, and long runs, save us some money. I mean, ultimately, we want the employees to be healthy and be happy, right? And that's all wellness is we want you to be engaged in your own health, to save you the hassle of being sick and the plan the money.
I got a question about the process or doing the wellness plan.
Yes.
So I have to do it at my work, and, but what they do is that each department or each building schedules for the health, we partner with the local health department. And then they have a machine that will draw blood from your finger and tell your cholesterol, tell your sugar and everything like that.
Right.
So there's not a, you don't, I mean, I'm not saying that we can do that, but I'm just asking, is that something that we could do and it'd be valid?
We've talked about that, but we've decided to include that as part of your physical exam. You're going to go to your doctor. Part of this is go get your annual physical. Part of what they're going to do is the blood work. So my question is, why would we pay a second time or engage a second time for them to get blood work when they should be going to get their physical, and part of that is to get that same blood work. And here's why it's important. We get blood work on him. We say, look, you've got a problem with your cholesterol. That never makes it to the physician. Oh, okay, he puts it down. Now, if you have that done while you're at your primary care, you get that done, the doctor looks at it and says, now let's have a discussion about your cholesterol. How are we going to deal with that? So what we're trying to do is, instead of doing it off-site, and yes, we've done that in many places, but we feel that there's a missing piece of that, which is engaging your primary care physician, all right?
We actually do that. In the month of August or September, typically we hand out coupons to anyone that is interested in coming up here to get one of the coupons. They go to the local hospital. While they are on Logan County Fiscal Court's time, they get their blood drawn. The biometrics get sent to the employee, and then they have to follow up with their physician. It costs the employee nothing. It costs our insurance plan nothing. But we do pay Logan Memorial a fee for having them go out there to do their biometrics. In the past couple of years, we have had maybe 5 people that have actually used that, but we still offer it anyway. We have in previous years had the health department actually come up here in this room and stay sometimes for 2 days. They're not really interested in doing that too much anymore, because sometimes we would only have 5 people or 10 people maybe show up, and then they've been here for 2 solid days and they've not really done much. So with some of those programs, we don't, and for us, we don't get much participation in those. We used to also have a flu clinic that we would hold downstairs where you could come in and get vaccinations and flu shots and things of that nature. With the pharmacies that we have been using, they now want us to be able to guarantee that they're going to have X number of people in the time frame that they're here. We obviously can't do that. So they are allowing us to say, basically X month is flu clinic day for Logan County Fiscal Court. You can come to this pharmacy at any time without an appointment and get your flu shot or vaccinations.
Right.
So we are trying to make some of those options available. Even though some of them are not being utilized, we're still trying to make them available, and we do send lots of information out with employees' paycheck stubs. That's one thing that we really encourage people to do, is to open your paycheck stub. That's where your wellness information is. If you're not opening your paycheck stub, you're not getting the information on wellness.
Right.
So we are making efforts to make sure that we are getting the most convenience for those things.
Well, I hope everybody will see that it, especially, on the judge's office part, that there was, just an oversight. Nobody did that. Nobody was taking $25 out of the check, for some kind of gain. I mean, that,
Right.
If the Department of Labor and the complaint said that we were doing wrong, then we were doing wrong, and that was just simply an oversight that had been repeated for years, like 3 years, before it ever was implemented, okay? And so nobody would have a hard time saying that they didn't know. But, not everybody watches court, and maybe they don't, maybe they have their spouse look at their health insurance information and say, hey, this is what we're doing. So maybe there is a way. But the bottom line is, at some point, people, and I've always said, you're going to have some skin in the game or money. Okay? And I've been on court for 15 years, and we've gone from, high $500 to now $940. And we've done really good jobs of implementing creative things throughout the years, flex money, deductible monies, and, and the wellness was the last thing. We gave out money and gave out money and gave out money for years. And, till the money's tapped out, and the wellness was the last thing that we implemented.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, what's next is money out of your pocket, okay? Like I said, you're a state employee, my wife's a state employee, and I don't mind telling you, she pays $186 every 2 weeks, and she has to participate in the wellness program.
Right.
It ain't no option, okay? And, or pay more money.
Or pay more money, that's
Or
right,
pay
that's
more
right.
money. She can pay 30, I don't know the
It's a
number.
different plan.
Right, it's a different plan, it's not near as lucrative, yada, yada.
Yeah,
yada.
there's-
So,
yeah.
that's what I'm trying to protect for the employee. I realize that, it's not the highest paying job maybe in the county, but it's got really good benefits working here, and this is
Yeah.
at the top of the list.
This is, when you compare this plan to any fiscal court in Southern Kentucky, yours is at the very top.
And I know not everybody is as passionate about insurance as I am, but I spend a lot of hours on that, and Jason does.
Yep.
And I can't imagine how many hours the judge's office, and y'all do, but I'm just telling you, the only things left to dip into is money. I don't know what else to do.
Some agencies even require you to participate in your wellness plan to get your your HSA or your HRA money. I mean, if you don't
I'm down for that.
participate, you don't get the $2,000 or $4,000. I know some agencies do that.
I'm down for it.
So, yeah, and of course, there are rules around that, and we want to make sure we do all that right, and we've been very careful on that side of it. Let's make it clear to anybody that's listening, we did not arbitrarily just start taking $25 out. There were multiple pieces of paper, there were multiple presentations. We just didn't arbitrarily say we're going to start taking $25. The only oversight, as you said, is on that one page, we just didn't have that marked. And that will be corrected this year. It will be corrected.
My lost face was, I know when somebody asked about it, that we did ask our agency, you asked Bill and Holland, you asked Keiko. All the legal people said we were.
I went to our benefits attorney. He felt like we were fine. I went to everybody that I knew to go to. I had nobody tell me that they thought we were illegal. But the Department of Labor just said, and they didn't look at this. They said they gave us guidelines. Here's what we would consider clarity. And so the only thing that made sense was just to update these forms. And after that, if this ends up going to the Department of Labor, they're going to look at this and say that's fine because that's literally what they told us. And again, they didn't review this. They just said, we just talked about what does clarity look like, and that was the only missing part of this. And
We could issue a refund to those people
Right.
because, if you do it for one, you got to
do it for everybody, that's right.
And be fair, but, our employees need to know that, everybody's working hard to keep this insurance thing in check, and it's a tough job, and I just don't know what else to do next, other than, at some point, when this goes up 10% next year, guys, we are at $1,000
Right.
for one person per month. That's hard for the general public to digest.
It's a lot of money, yep.
It's pretty tough.
Go get a personal plan.
So-
That's
there was the complaint, and to make the complaint disappear, we decided as an insurance committee to refund 15 current people and then 4 people that no longer work for us, and the total is $3,712.50.
Which is approximately, for most of them, it's $237.50.
Because we've only been doing it 1 year.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only a part of that year, that's right.
Another thing we did was with deduction this month.
Yeah, the deductions have stopped.
Right.
But let me make sure I'm clear. We are going to be moving forward doing that, but when will we pick that back up?
So of course, it's the court's pleasure, but our recommendation is to start that back starting 7/1, July 1, which is when the plan year renews, and that's when we'll have all our documents updated, and the employee then at that point can make a decision on whether they want to participate or not. Now, that's going to be based on the prior year. Okay, we haven't done anything wrong in terms of the way we've done our plan. The only thing we did that wasn't clear was when you sit down and say, I want my insurance, we just didn't have the number. The plan is completely done correctly. It was how we signed people up last year. It wasn't clear. So we can say, you know, you had the last year. Now, when we sit down, we're going to make it very clear you did or did not complete your wellness, and this is your price. And you sign it. That's the only piece. We didn't do anything else wrong other than it just wasn't clear on the piece of paper they signed at July 1 last year.
But
It wasn't as clear as it should be.
Okay, so July 1 hits.
Right.
Okay, and just take me, I don't take the health insurance, but say I'm the one with the health insurance.
Right.
July 1 hits. Are we going to be able to say, did you do
Yes.
your wellness?
Yes.
Yes or no?
We will have that by open enrollment. We will have, before we sign everybody up, we will have a list from our wellness team that's going to say, here's the people that did not complete and people that did.
Okay.
And then we're going to be able to, and we're actually going
So
to,
we're not repeating another
no,
year?
no.
So
So,
our wellness plan actually ends on April the 30th. We have May and June for Cassie at Wellright to let us know who all completed the required elements. So
That's
during
right.
open
I've
enrollment,
Right.
we will know that.
that's right, okay.
I got a question,
Yes, sir.
and this could happen. What if they refuse to sign it?
That's what I was going to ask.
And if they don't sign it, they just don't get health insurance. It's their choice to not take.
Is that going to be stated on there, that if you don't sign that?
We can put that in there, I guess. I mean, if you don't,
Because that could happen.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, we can add that in, but.
Decided not to take health.
Yeah, so we typically want a signature that says you do or don't. If you just choose to not sign anything, we can't, this is all voluntary. Nobody's saying you have to take our health insurance.
Yeah.
There's nobody forcing you to take it. If you don't want it, just don't take it. So all you have to do, now we ask for a signature then, because that says that they had the
You know, there's
opportunity.
going to be some knuckleheads that's going to want the insurance but not want to sign.
Yeah. Well, they can't have the insurance and not sign. They have to sign it that says, here's what I want.
Take or not take?
Right, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. At that point, without a signature, we can't take anything out of their,
You're just automatically.
you're automatically not taking the insurance, right? Now, I would argue if you don't sign anything, then you don't even get your waiver money. Because part of this signature is going to be, I waive, and in return, I get the waiver money, right?
They have to provide proof of other.
Then they have to provide proof of other insurance. We don't let people just arbitrarily take the money and not have any kind of coverage.
Yeah.
But if you say, I'm not signing anything, then at that point, you're out. You're not getting waiver money. You're just not going to be, you're just saying, I'm not participating in the program at all, top to bottom. And we've actually had that in other counties where the employee had other insurance and they just chose not to participate. But it's rare, obviously, right?
Yeah.
One last piece on the wellness is that historically we have an internal company called WellScore. We've decided that it didn't make sense for us internally to continue to do that. We needed a larger company that had more resources. So for over the last 6 months, we've been looking at different companies. We've selected a company called ICWS that will take over the wellness piece of our program. Now, to you guys, it's going to be very transparent. They do everything exactly the way we do it. They use the same portals. I mean, that's the reason we chose them, is that's what they do it. They're also based out of Kentucky. And they're actually going to have more resources and more help than what our company offered, and there'll be no change in pricing. So all it'll do is, instead of calling Cassie for help, you'll actually have another person you'll call. It's just, so it'll be very transparent to the employees. I mean, it's going to look, taste, and feel like it does today. It's just going to be a different company running the back end. And again, the cost is exactly the same. There's no change in cost whatsoever.
So asking you to look into that magic ball you have there.
Oh my.
You know, wellness has had a high rate of turnover,
Yes.
okay? Which hinders it somewhat, you know, especially if you're not tech savvy.
Right.
Or you're reluctant to participate. So every time you have turnover, You just throw a little wrench.
Right.
I mean, magic ball speaking, are we going to be here for a little while?
I mean, that's what I think, internally, we, just to err, we've struggled to find long-term people on our wellness side of it. And I don't know why that's been, we've just struggled on that. So that's one of the reasons, and the other reason that we decided to exit, the other reason is because there are some services that we think needs to be offered that we just financially didn't make sense for us to do. So ICWS, the two owners have done this for, I think they're in the 8th year of business. This is what they do. They're there day in, day out. They own the business. So it's a little bit different than an employee, right? Does that make sense? So the answer is hopefully, that's our goal here.
The well score thing, I didn't participate this year because I was doing the state program. But, when I was participating in it, and I was doing it for kicks and giggles because I don't have to do it, but it was real simple.
It really is very simple.
So as long as it's simple and close to, being exactly what we're currently doing, as I said, we've actually been dealing with wellness a lot longer than people realize. We started that, I'd say 10 years ago.
Kelly, I just want to make sure.
Yes.
So you mentioned on the waiver, so if a person decides, I'm just asking from an employee standpoint, if they decide not to sign the paper, will they still be able to get the waiver money and get their own insurance to show the county?
So it would be my opinion that if you don't sign any piece of paper, then no. I mean, part of that signature on that is saying I don't want the insurance and I elect to get the waiver money. That's part of that signature. If somebody walks in and says, I'm just not signing anything, period, then they have elected to take that insurance.
You don't have that in the form of
Yeah, that's already in there. That's already in there.
I just want to make sure.
There's no change on that.
So if someone wants to do the waiver.
They sign, there's two pieces of that. They have to sign here, then they have to show proof of insurance somewhere. Because here's our fear is that person that says, I don't have any insurance anywhere, I'm taking the money, and then they get sick, and they have nothing out there, right?
I want to make sure that if they were to sign the waiver, didn't do the wellness, they wouldn't get the waiver.
No, that's separate, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Scotty.
Scotty, that's part of the reporting to the federal government at the end of the year that one of these companies does. It shows that if you waived our insurance, you got insurance somewhere else.
Right, I just want to make sure you didn't have to have a wellness to get the waiver.
No, that's completely separate, yeah, completely separate. Any other questions? I know it's always a lot of conversation around this.
I appreciate all the information. I appreciate you catching me up to speed. Apologize for missing last Friday.
And if you want to give me a shout, I'm happy to run through any of the back numbers on this, the back side of this, of course. Any other questions from the court?
I got one, I'm still not sure. If they don't take it, do they have to pay the $25 a month, they get less, and we take that out of their pay or what?
If they don't take it.
I don't get the $25.
So what we're doing, to make sure I get this worded correctly, what we do is we pay, if you're an employee, we pay all of your health insurance except for $25. So this year, I don't see the number, it's $940 this year.
Yeah.
We would pay $915, right? Okay? And you're gonna pay $25. But if you participate in the wellness program and complete those 4 requirements, we will pay the extra $25 a month.
Okay, that's it.
That's how it's actually worked. That's how we do it.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah,
trying to find.
that's exactly right.
That's what I thought.
Right.
So you can get 100% of it paid if you participate in
But
it.
my question, if you don't,
It costs you $25 a month.
that's bonus, get that. Yeah, I got it.
If I don't do my wellness, it costs me a lot more than $25 a month. Like 100 maybe, something like that.
No, it's a very minimal, it's an incentive, and that incentive it's very minimal differential between the two, and you're right, there's a lot of places that have a much larger differential. Again, this is not designed to be punitive, this is designed to encourage our employees to do what's right, stay healthy.
And in return, it helps on our premiums.
And in return, it helps, control the program. And honestly, that means long-term, it helps them because we can keep this same program long-term. We actually reduced, when we went self-funded, just to remind everybody, we reduced the cost of dependent coverage. We actually reduced that, and we're going to keep that. So the cost of having a spouse, child, or family on went down when we went self-funded. And there are some people there are some folks that probably couldn't afford it if we went back to where it used to be. So again, we're trying to bring a great benefit to the employees of Logan County Fiscal Court. We're just asking for help in that. And the reality is wellness does increase some of our claims too. When we say we want everybody to go get a physical, there's a cost to that, right? But we're hoping that the long-term cost of those ones that maybe catch something early, that it far outweighs the cost of, so wellness can actually increase a little bit of participation in terms of claims because we're asking people to get that done. You go get your physical, we find out you've got cholesterol, now we put you on a cholesterol med, so yes, that's a claim. However, keeps you from having a heart attack, we're way ahead.
There are a lot of people that are paying taxes in public, that are paying for their own insurance, that would love to have a policy like we got here.
I agree.
It's just, Yeah. But anyway.
I'm sorry.
I think we're good.
Okay,
Thank you,
good.
Kelly.
Appreciate it.
I'll sit down. If you have any other questions, then I'll be here.
So we've got a page full of motions that we need to do. The first motion that we need to do is about the refunding the premium deduction. So I make a motion that we refund the 19 employees $3,712.50 due to the fact that a signature form was missing stating the actual dollar amount being deducted for the wellness program, for not participating in the wellness program for fiscal year 21 to 22.
Second.
$3,000 total. $3,712.50 total for 19 employees combined.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor to refund the money that's been deducted for 21-22 fiscal year. And we did stop the deductions. Some people got a $1,250 deduction in April, but we did stop the deductions in April. So there was no other questions. Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Logan,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Oh, we can.
All right, I make a motion to continue to offer health insurance through a partially self-insured health plan using Anthem for administrative services and reinsurance, to contract with Capstone to provide benefits administration services to include enrollment and centralized billing, to contract with Pill and Holland to provide data analytics for claims incurred and paid through Anthem, and to fund a health insurance arrangement, HRA, at 100% utilization for fiscal year 22 to 23. The HRA will remain at $2,000 annually for employee only and $4,000 annually for employee independent.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion second. Question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Logan,
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to enter into a contract with McGregor and Associates for the FSA services at $4.25 per month per employee with $100 annual renew fee, and HRA services at $6.50 per employee per month with a $100 annual renew fee for fiscal year 2022-2023.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second to continue with McGregor. Question?
And all this stuff will be signed. I mean, all this information stuff will be signed when it comes through. Okay.
That fee is an administrative fee that the employee doesn't pay. We
Yeah.
pay that. So that motion
I
won't need
was
a
thinking
signature.
about the other one,
It
but
is,
Okay. Any other question? Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Logan,
yes.
Chick,
Yes.
I make a motion to continue to offer employees waiving health insurance $350 per month in taxable income, which can either be added to the employee's biweekly payroll, be used for FSA funds up to $28.50, and any additional coverage any additional county offered employee benefits, and/or a combination of the options mentioned above, effective 7/1/22. Employee must provide proof of other health insurance coverage to elect this option.
I second that motion.
Okay, and this is,
So if you get the flex money, you gotta prove you got health insurance elsewhere before you can get it. And you do have to sign for that.
How much was you paying them? I didn't get that.
$350 monthly. So what's that, $4,200 a year is what you get if you elect to have your own coverage somewhere.
okay, now while we're talking about this,
Well, at one time, we was doing it about half.
just to inform the court, if I got an employee in my office, that chooses, to take this payment instead of insurance, and that's okay, you know what I'm talking about, but if something ever happened, that employee left, and the next employee you hire wants the insurance, that's the reason you gotta fund the positions. Even though this is a whole lot lesser cost, but it's gotta be funded in case the employee turns over, and one don't want it and the next one does. So, okay, is there any other questions? Let's have roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Yes.
Chick.
Yeah.
I make a motion to offer employer-paid Anthem Vision insurance to employees who elect county-provided health insurance at the same level of coverage as they receive in health insurance. EEA only, EE/spouse, EE/children and family. The per-month employer-paid rate will be as followed for fiscal year 2022-2023. Employee only, $6.64. Employee and spouse, $13.28. Employee and children, $13.61. And family, $20.25.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport. Wright.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes.
Chick.
Yeah.
All right. I make a motion to allow Capstone to administer the Affordable Care Act reporting for the Logan County Fiscal Court for fiscal year 2022 to 2023 at a rate of $2.50 per employee per month on the plan, which includes electronic transmittal to the Internal Revenue Service.
Second.
Okay, questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes.
Chick.
Yeah.
Judge, I make a motion to allow Integrated Corporate Wellness Solution, ICWS, to administer the county's wellness program at a rate of $9,600 for fiscal year 2022-23. The wellness program will run from July 1, 2022 to April 30th, 2023. Employees must complete an online risk assessment, a biometric screening that includes a visit with a health care provider to earn any wellness incentives, as well as to continue to receive, you're going to answer that phone, Mr. Kyle, to receive the county's provided health insurance at no cost. Employees who do not complete the wellness program in fiscal year 2022-2023 will will continue to pay $25 per month for the employee portion of their health insurance coverage on 7/1/2023. Employees may additionally participate in other wellness functions to earn up to 2 days of paid time off, which may be taken or sold during the 2022-2023 fiscal year.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Hey, yes, you take 5.
They take 5? Okay. All right, let's take 5 then.
Were you gonna order pizza?
It's about time to order lunch. Look how long
I appreciate you taking that pay cut on your end, so
Okay, we're back in session then, and first thing on the agenda, or next thing on the agenda, approve the bill list, and we don't have a supplemental.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, is there any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
High.
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next is treasurer's report. Ma'am?
I thankfully don't have much for you this morning. I do have a list of budget transfers in the folder that we need to get approved.
Move to approve the budget transfers as presented.
Second.
Okay, got a motion to approve as presented. And a second, any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
High,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
And I do have 2 cash transfers today. We need to transfer $25,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Tax Fund to the LGEA fund.
I make the motion.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
High,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
And we need to transfer $20,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Tax Fund to the 911 fund.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second, now question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
High,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
And that's all I have for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Road work request, Tyler?
District 1, out on Concord Road, ditching and installing new tile out that way. I think we've already taken care of that. Appreciate it, looks good. Continue maintenance. Appreciate everything, Kelly.
District 3, just continue maintenance. Thanks, Kelly. Everything's looking good.
District 4, same thing, continue maintenance, thanks for all the hard work. Oh, did they forget that patch on White Scarver? They coming to get it? I was out there Sunday. I was out there Sunday and it's, okay. The one right in front of the campground.
Oh,
White Scarver. Okay. All right, that's cool. All right, yeah, everything looks good. Continue maintenance.
District 5, same thing. Appreciate all your work. Thanks.
District 6, continue maintenance. Thanks for everything.
Okay, you heard the road work request, and I guess Thomas just handed them to one of these girls.
I'll put
I picked up a couple in the basket.
And, any questions? Have a motion to approve?
motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, now question. Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
High,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yeah. Okay, elected officials, Scotty.
I need some more papers.
Good morning. Got this for you here.
I asked for it, didn't
I'll just give you more paper.
Yep. Should be coming down to you. Jason down.
Oh, I'm paying attention.
I?
I got an extra one.
Oh, he's on.
All right, this is something we do every year. It's just a kind of a pass-through for us. We just need it to be approved through the court, check issued, and then we'll put it back through to the fee report.
Acknowledged or approved?
You can, it doesn't matter. You can approve it, it'll be fine.
Okay. Move to acknowledge then,
I'd go ahead and approve it there.
approve it, okay.
Yeah.
Move to approve then for the motor vehicle and boat bills for 2022.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the county clerk's claims and calculations for motor vehicles and boat bills for 2022. Question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Holden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Just wanted to let you know we're still working on the election, obviously. We're 3 weeks from today. We will be delivering equipment on the 10th to the schools, the location, then we'll set up the armory that day just so it'll be ready for that Thursday, which is the 12th. That's the first day of early voting. One of the things I talked to you about last time was the cameras in the new law. I checked, all the schools are covered, of course, but the armory, we probably will have to work something out with the armory. I don't know how that'll go, but I'll have to be in contact with them. Won't be for this election, but it'll go into effect for November's election. So we'll have to have a camera on there by law for 60 days. So.
Okay, the early voting's only at the armory, though.
That's correct, yes, sir. It'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
What about your plumbing problem? Is it good?
We got it resolved. We were able to find, we got Roto-Rooter out of Bowling Green, come down with their high-powered camera. They were able to run and find the line for us and mark it. We dug down 2 feet, found the line exactly, and were able to put a clean out in. And I put in a new toilet that I think was having some low pressure going out. It was just an older toilet, so I put in a new toilet. I think we'll be okay. So at least now we have a clean out. Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Steve, you got anything to? No, sir. Okay, Phil. I forgot there. Go ahead. I done called you up.
Ladies first, you know.
It's just, I had some agendas printed in case anybody wanted them. We didn't get Ernie his signed copy.
Thank you, Judge Schick. Good morning, court. Good morning. Put that in Jack. One of them Jack, I guess. Don't forget, we got a third one. Okay, as of this morning, we have 88 county and 86 state.
Female population keeps growing, don't it?
Sure does.
50%.
Sure does.
Questions?
Yeah, I got one. How often y'all go out, picking up on the highway?
When we have the labor
I
force,
mean, I'm saying if the weather's good.
when we have the labor force to do it. Right now, we're very
Oh, you short?
short-handed at the jail.
How are you labor short? In other words, the other people you can't trust, is that it? Well,
Now, when I say labor shortage, I'm talking about staff, employees. We're short on employees.
oh, you
We're
are
having,
short.
right, we're having to adjust to make sure, we're required by state law to have so many people working the floor inside the jail. And when we have extra, then we send them out, weather permitting.
I wish you had somebody out there every day.
Well, I do too, and we have funding for that, but if you don't have someone to
a guard available to take them out, then we can't take them out. That's what I meant by labor shortage. Right now, we have, as you see, we have 86 state inmates, and we have a pretty good number to draw from, but we don't have anybody to go out on the site and supervise them. I tell you, it's really tough, and I've shared some information with the county judge and Tyler. When people, the county south of us is paying $18, $19 an hour starting pay for correctional officers, and we're paying $14, $28. That makes it really difficult to recruit help, and help's constantly leaving, going to other places. So we're down to the bare minimum right now as far as help goes.
I guess that just recently happened because we didn't have that problem for the last few years.
It's just in the last 6 months or a year or something like that. Of course, the inflation rate keeps going up.
Right. Yeah, the 7%.
Fuel prices keep going up.
Of course, starting July 1, we give all employees a 7% base pay increase, so hopefully that'll help out. So.
Yeah. I got some good news for you. You want to hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. That $4 increase per diem went into effect. It went from $31.34 to $35.34. That sounds really good, but then when you factor in, that'll help offset the cost of inflation, the price of fuel, the price of food that we feed them at the jail. Matter of fact, we've had an increase in that, and labor cost. So it helps, but I don't know if it totally covers what I just mentioned.
Yeah, $4 ain't enough. It's something.
No. Any comments on that or questions about that? Now here's some real good news. I have $444,640.70 profit in the commissary account.
Very good.
What's the standard?
Well, I'm limited to what I can do with that money per statute. And here's a list of things we have done with it.
He's asking how long has that been? How long?
Since I've been jailer.
Since you've been jailer.
Yeah. But having said that, we've spent probably almost that much buying lawnmowers, and I'm giving you a list.
$180-something thousand at one time
On the scanner, body scanner. It's 165 plus the install and everything.
Thank you, sir.
So what can you not do with that money?
Well, right now, I can't give it to the county with the general fund. And that's a question I have. State legislators, maybe they can.
So that's the only thing that you cannot do?
Well, there's a lot of things.
It has to be beneficial to the
inmate.
Yeah.
Or safety security.
To the inmate.
Safety security. And if, what we have spent in the past, we buy lawnmowers and more maintenance, gas for the mowers, vehicles for work details, maintenance and repair on those vehicles, and the body scanner and its warranty. Just the body scanner by itself was $165,000. Educational supplies, including laptops for the inmates in our educational program we have there at the jail. Class D uniforms for the inmates, cameras, camera systems, camera system maintenance and repairs. Moving forward, we plan to upgrade the control room, the panels and the cameras in the control room. Looking to hire a jail investigator to investigate incidents that occur in the jail. And we can pay for that.
Would that be like contract labor?
It would be.
So the state side's always 50% full, always have open beds. So could you take that money and remodel part of the state side to make it more secure like the county side, or is that just not even feasible?
They have to have certain specs for that side of the jail. They're not in concrete. We do upgrade that side of the jail from time to time, where to be cameras and other things like that. And we give them, like I said, in the uniforms and things like that. Now, this money is after taxes. We pay taxes on the money that comes to the commissary. That's after taxes.
How much you say you got in?
$444,000 roughly profit after taxes.
Right, it's 444,640, and there's more coming. We'll be having more money coming in, so it's looking really good. I just wish we could do more with it, but by statute, can do so much with it.
This is some of the things you do with it then.
Right, right. And we got a clean audit on it as well. Here's the audit report on the commissary. No write-ups, not even no comments. So we had a very clean audit.
I'm gonna say one thing that has, I think, improved a lot in the last several years is commissary. The process has improved.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money on upgrading inside the jail for safety security. So.
I've seen this before. What is a Class D uniform? Why couldn't it be a Class B or Class C? Is it, I don't understand that.
The Class D are the individuals that are on the Class D side. They're Class D felonies. And then we supply them with certain uniforms. The county supplies the oranges. The commissary supplies the khakis, basically.
Is the D the worst or the best?
What's that?
The D.
They're the ones that go out and pick up your litter. They're the ones that go out and pick up the litter on.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they're the better ones then. Are the more trusted?
Well, I don't want to classify, better or worse,
Well,
but
more trusted, would you?
well, they're allowed to go out to work.
As we talked about that, there's only certain people you can take out there anyway, ain't it?
Yes, yes, right. They have to have the security clearance that the Department of Corrections gives them.
Low-level crimes.
Right, that's what I was
Right.
getting at.
5 years or less is on their sentence. So 5 years is really kind of high, not that's necessarily a low level, but 5 years on some of them. But they are low-level risk.
Yeah, that's what, okay.
So I plan to improve the jail internally. Bring it up to...
Talked about replacing that control panel before. It was something we were looking at.
It keeps giving us trouble. It's 23 years old. I think it's time. We have the money. I think that's going to cost $40,000 plus to upgrade that. So we have the money. We might as well go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
So
Good deal.
that's all I have.
Good news.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Court.
Thank you.
Any updates on the building or when it's gonna look at it?
July, wasn't it? June? Was it June or July?
He said it'd be toward the end of May to the
First of
middle of June,
Okay.
somewhere in that area.
They were just backed up that on the availability to start it until then, is what I remember him saying.
Yeah. Okay, got anything else? Okay, Department Head, Ginger's not here today. If you look in your folder, Nathan got a application for permit for Wilhite Salvage at 894 Burley College Road, Russell, Kentucky, and the type of material, vehicles, and parts.
Whose district's that in? Is that yours, Thomas? Is Will Height, I'm just curious, I mean, you have to make a
Will
motion. Is
Height,
Will
yes,
Height in
yes.
yours? I didn't know where that fell.
So we need to approve
I
the
mean, you can
permit
approve the
application.
commission.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, let me find it. I'm seeing it right here. I'll make a motion to approve Will Height Salvage Yard at 894 Burley Holly Road in Russellville.
Okay, second by Mr. Kyle. Question? If not, let's have roll call.
Davenport?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I had to take a call.
Oh, sorry.
Approving Will Height's, site permit.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Kyle? Logan?
Yes.
Chick?
Yes. Okay, if you'll look on into your thing, he's got a report of road pickups. I will report that last Friday's tire event, they took in 1,618 tires. And then also, you see where the Mennonite Church picked up Chandler's Road in 103.
There's another in there for Bread of Life.
Bread of Life, too.
Picked up, Bread of Life picked up the road too. There's another one. Two of them.
Okay.
Kentucky 96 and
Okay, well, that's just information anyhow. I don't think I've got that one, Thomas. But,
1,600 tires is not thrown in the field somewhere.
so that'd be the report from the solid waste. Kelly, you got anything?
he had to leave.
Had to leave? Okay, we'll move on then. Do you have a report, Ray?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Give me one more for Jack Cross here. Yeah. just put it on this thing.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Alrighty, for the month of March, our beginning shelter count was 97 animals. That included 63 dogs and 34 cats. A part of those intakes, we had 93 intakes for the month. That's 70 dogs and 23 cats. ACO pickups were 7. We had 4 police pickups, 38 citizen drop-offs, and we had 44 owner surrenders for the month of March. So most of those numbers are pretty on the higher side than what we're used to. 93 intakes for the month is probably close to twice as many on a normal month. So it's getting that time of the year where there's puppies and kittens, litters that are being born, and people are bringing in their dogs in a higher rate. Our live release rate for last month, it dipped a little bit. It's at 90.24%. I think I touched on it last time that we were at 94%. That I expected to drop a little bit because of the intakes and because of our euthanasia figures for last month. We had 8 animals, 3 dogs that were parvo positive, and then we had 5 cats that were FIV positive. And FIV is one of those things in cats that you can't cure, so we have to put them down because it can spread throughout the whole shelter. Parvo is something, to treat one dog, it's about $800 or so. So we try to treat as much as we can, but when we're getting, case after case, it kind of becomes hard to do so. But we still maintain 90% live release rate for the month of March. We had 18 adoptions that were 14 dogs and 4 cats, and we sent 39 animals to rescue. We had an ending shelter count of 106 animals at 73 dogs and 33 cats. Any questions on the numbers? Alrighty. We have a lot of things going on right now. We just wrapped up our free adoption week that was sponsored by Petco Love Foundation with a $5,000 grant that we used most of it to sponsor animals to be adopted for free this past week. Those numbers are going to be reflected at next month's fiscal court meeting, but just wanted to give a preview for it. We had over 30 adoptions in just last week alone. So
Our live release rate is going to be, I'm expecting to be around 91, 92%. We are going to be closed to the public for the next 2 weeks. It's just something that's good to be done routinely, maybe quarterly. When we have a lot of animals at one time, we want to get the shelter clean, we want to get as many animals out as possible. That's why we had the adoption week last week, and we're also working hard on transports to get the rest of our animals out to rescue. We have a national fundraising group called Jordan's Way that will be making its way back to Logan County on June 18th. They came to the shelter last year. I believe they raised $7,500 or so. I talked to the coordinator last week. He said he expects to triple it this year.
Is that the one where we threw pies in Jason's face?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I paid for it, and Jason never got a pie.
I got one. Somebody paid for one, and I got it, and you paid for one, and I didn't.
You didn't.
I
So
snuck
I
it.
want a refund. I owe you a pie. That's all I
We
got
can
to
do it
say.
next court meeting.
All right, let's do it. I'm down.
So they'll be coming back in June. We expect that to be a pretty big event. We are needing volunteers. They're asking for about 15 to 20 volunteers. So, of course, our shelter staff, myself, is going to be there. Members of the court want to be there. Judge, it'd be great. It's on Facebook Live, and they have people call in, say, like I said, I want to see somebody with a pie in their face, and they'll give $100, $150 or something. So it should be a fun event. We're looking forward to it.
Maybe I should just go and make sure I know that Jason gets his pie.
Yeah, you can do it yourself.
All right.
If you want to turn that page, I have the updated estimate for our concrete ceiling. If you can see there's a revision. It did knock it down $888 from the approved amount from last month. Are there any questions on that?
How many bids did you get on this?
This one, we got 3.
Got 30? Well, we'll need a copy of all 30 bids if it.
Okay, well, we got I gave them the copies of last month.
Yeah, so
They were here last month.
Okay.
That's just a revised quote, it's $880 less. There was something on there about the square footage or something
Yes.
we were questioning. But that was the low bid, correct?
Yes, it
we
was.
approved this bid last court meeting,
Okay.
but there was a square footage discrepancy.
I didn't go back and pull my phone.
So,
Yeah.
yep, we're good.
As far as the other project was our getting our ceilings put into those 2 rooms where there were no ceilings. That one I only got 1 bid for. So I mean it's been fairly difficult to try and get more.
I got one guy coming to bid,
Okay.
but I don't know if 2 bids is enough. Is it? You gonna have 3 bids?
Quote.
As long as you
Quotes? Yes.
Well, you can do it with 2, can't you?
If it's,
See.
you remember how much it was?
Oh, okay.
I believe it was.
Well, we haven't. He's still waiting on another quote, though, right?
He got one and presented it to us.
But you got another guy coming to quote
Was it under
You might.
10,000?
It was under
It
10,000.
was like $30-something $100.
Yeah.
$3,800.
Yeah. Okay.
You can do it 2 quotes.
We can do, would you say 3,800?
It was around 3,000. It was no more than 3,800.
Okay.
I know the amount was approved last meeting.
We can get by with less than 5,000 on 2, I think. We can get by less than 5,000 on 2 quotes.
Or if you just show that you try to get 30 quotes, I mean, do your due diligence to give them, email somebody and they say, no, I don't want it, I want to quote it.
Okay, I got a question on that. I've wondered, I've wondered about this and everything fast. You get a dog, somebody brings a dog in at a bite. I mean, some dog, and nobody's gonna adopt it. Y'all just did put it down, have it put down, is that right?
Well-
You don't keep a dog out there for 5 years that nobody adopt because they bite, do you?
No, and when a dog comes out there that's bitten someone, it has to be by law quarantined for at least 10 days.
what now?
It has to by law be quarantined for 10 days, so we can't do anything with it at all for 10 days. And the health department comes and assesses it, but after that 10 days is up, we don't want to, adopt out a dog that's bitten someone, so usually we'll try to get it out to a rescue.
Does the vet do it or y'all do it?
Do
Put
what?
them down, you put them down after so many days, don't you?
No, we don't. There's no time period that we put a dog
I'm
down.
not with you. You mean if you got a dog in a box and nobody adopted For the next 5 years, you'll keep it there?
No. After those 10 days, we'll try to get the dog out to a rescue.
You do what with it?
We'll get it to a rescue, whether it's, in-state or a state over, somebody that definitely deals with either that breed or behavior issues. We'll get it out to a rescue. We won't just put it down. We'll give it an opportunity to live somewhere away from people.
But if it goes over 3 or 4 weeks and the dog's way too aggressive to fool with, it'll have to be put down.
That's the question I'm getting at.
So
Okay.
that's the answer.
That's a last resort.
That's the last resort, but it's not going to stay out there for 2 or 3 years or 2 or 3 months. It's going to be.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
That's the question I kept wondering. Okay.
Got any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank y'all.
for reporting. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move in, I think that's all the department heads that's here. We'll move on into judges' announcements. Summer night cruise in Russellville Park Square begins on May the 7th. So I guess if you're interested in older cars and looking at them, that'd be the place to be on May the 7th. Entertainment permit, I've got a hearing set up at the Logan County Courthouse on May the 10th at 1 p.m. and that's taking care of an antique tractor pull site and a paintball site.
Where's
in Lewisburg.
Jason's.
And the Darrell Strawberry Festival is scheduled for May the 19th through May the 21st. Logan County Antique Engine and Tractor Show is on June the 3rd and 4th at the Extension Ag Complex. And I don't know of anything else going on other than there's a forum up here next week, or week after next one, I can't remember. Week after next, I guess. And I think it involves Tuesday, Wednesday, no.
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So for the different ones running for office. Okay, I don't know if there's any reports we got.
Amanda.
First item, old business, is discuss the options on construction work on bridge on Old Lewisburg, Jericho Road. If y'all remember that at the last court meeting, we had 2 bids. And you'll find out a little bit later in the budget report that this money's tied up and we dedicated $100,000 toward this project, and Jason talked like it, that he would take part of his road money and finish the project up. The bid from Volusia was $181,642. And then the bid from
Scott Murphy.
Came in at $198,868.36.
On that, Glocia said they've been doing bridges this way for years, and Scott Murphy is just full of crap, so whatever.
But we can't pay them until next fiscal year, correct? Is that?
Well, they said they weren't gonna start sometime toward the end of June on the project.
Well, okay. Kelly said they're ready to start now. Kelly just said they're ready to start now, but maybe.
Well, I'll give you an interest-bearing loan. Fiscal Court.
You can't.
No, the county can,
Oh,
and you
okay.
can pay it back with interest in
I
July
thought you was
1.
going to. I don't
I ain't got $12 in my account.
Okay. All right, what kind of, what do we need to, what kind of motion or acknowledgement or what needs to be done?
Do what now?
What do we need to do? What kind of action do we need to do?
Well, I think the court will be waiting on you to make a motion to accept what bid.
Okay.
But,
And allow me.
we gotta make sure that, that we don't do a payment. So we'll get in next year's budget up.
Yeah, until after July 1. So does that need to be in the motion that we don't make the payment until after July 1?
Is your bidders okay with it, do you think? Volusia, they're okay with it?
You got
Just make your motion now.
Oh, yeah.
You can do it this year then if you ain't.
Well, I mean, the last time I heard, they couldn't start till middle of May, so it was gonna take them, I mean,
Yeah, it'll take them a while.
it wouldn't be like
They
they'd have to
wanna
wait
bill
2 or
it.
3 months.
They're gonna bill it, you know.
So I make a motion to accept Galusha Contracting's bid of $181,642 to replace the bridge on Old Lewisburg Jericho Road and to allow me to take $81,642 of my asphalt budget for next year and to pay that towards it. And make payment after July 1st of next year.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Questions? We gotta control when they start them.
Yeah, we'll just have to push them, they don't need to start before about the middle of May, middle to the end of May.
So the road will be closed a while then.
They talk like it'd be closed for about 2 weeks. Because I think it has to set for what was it, it's 4, 5, 6 days.
About a week.
Yeah. So I'll have,
How long will it take them to do it?
I think 2 weeks. I'll have Kelly call Chris and make sure that that's fine.
Okay, that's different than what he told me the other day. He told me.
I think that changed. I think it changed.
Yeah. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, first item, a new business this morning is an annual bid for yearly plumbing and maintenance at the jail. And we really didn't receive one.
Was the advertisement for the bid to come to the court or to the jail?
here,
To the court?
got the address from, yeah.
Okay. Well, we got an email 45 minutes after court started, so that's probably null and void, so they'll just have to rebid again, I suppose.
Yeah, we just had to rebid it again.
We got to keep those toilets flushing, you know. 175 people in there.
You got an email today after court started?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did.
And it says by 9 a.m., so.
Yeah, could have got here before 9 a.m. I think that could probably we've been good to accept it, but come in at 9:45.
But the good news is they're going to continue to do the maintenance, and there's no price increases. But you just got to get it in a timely manner.
Turn it in to the judge.
Yeah,
Down.
not to the jail, but to the judge. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Okay, what we'll have to do there is just rebid that. We need to have a contract in place for next year. The contract we got now is still good to June the 30th.
Right. Do we need another motion for bid?
Okay, next item of business, open bid
Do we
for,
need another motion for, to put the bid back out?
You need a motion
I don't
to
know whether we do or not. I don't think so.
re-advertise that?
that probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay. Make a motion to re-advertise the yearly plumbing maintenance at the jail for fiscal year 2022, 2023.
Second.
Okay,
Roofers were hard to get.
is there any discussion? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell Jay, if you will contact your roofer that you've hired to do the maintenance, if you'll just schedule them a time that they could be there, I will go with you and them and point out the things that I know maintenance-wise need to be fixed.
Okay.
You know, preventative maintenance, not stuff that's leaking, you know. Gutter seams are leaking, but, you know, you've got some scupper and overflow boxes that are leaking, and before that starts deteriorating the blocks and start cracking blocks, you need to get that fixed.
I should have gave that report. He's been down already, or sent someone down, and they've done some repairs already, but maybe not some of the stuff you, so it would be a good idea for all of us to get together.
Just call him, and just as long as you give me 2 or 3 days heads up, I usually can make it.
I will do that.
Just schedule it with him first, then call me.
I will do that.
Tell me when it is.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, next item of business is open bid for police cruisers, utility vehicles, and sheriff department for 22-23. And I did get one bid.
You did get how many?
One.
Oh, one.
Did you expect more than one bid?
You know, this economy is either take it or leave it. I mean, it's usually how everything's going right. You don't want to go sell it to the other 500 people behind you.
Bid number 3.
Okay, the one bid is Dodge Durangos for $34,971. And I guess you can pick as many of them as you want.
All right.
They get cheaper than what you buy.
How many we bid on?
3.
That's what I was thinking.
Buy
So
4,
you got
get the 5th one free.
120,000. Is that what you got?
Yeah.
So you are you gonna get these now? Is that
Well,
what we was arguing about? Or talking
Yeah, that's
about?
what we kind of talked about.
And what we said, yeah.
Well,
If they was okay with waiting.
and they're okay with waiting, but I mean, I didn't know if we could look at options within the budget to pull.
120,000? That's for next year.
Yeah.
You only have 120 left, though.
Do you have 34,971 left?
I don't have anything in that line item, but other line items I could probably pull it out of. But I mean, he was willing to hold them if it got accepted today. So I mean, if I could get them and get them in the shop to be installed, then I'd have them ready to roll by July. But I'm not gonna push it.
After all of the stuff.
No.
39, 30, 30. Interpret that differently, let me know. I think that's the base price, and then whenever you put the options on there, it's 39,330, I think. Or am I wrong about that totally?
Options per PMC.
Well, the price I got was, he had mentioned was the 34. But I guess if, which comes with the basic standard.
That's if you want to do this in the window.
Right, yeah. Well, no, that's supposed to be on there.
Hey, tell the solar farm's got to buy some pizza.
Especially equipment was 14. Wait a minute, something's not right there, 'cause that starts out with 37,000. And then you add like 1495 to it.
So is the state bid the 34,971, and then that's just the,
It could be.
and that's the,
When I talked to him, that was, I'd have to ask him questions, but I don't see anything on there that,
See, this price here is not even the base price here.
Yeah.
So, this needs to be a question. I'll let y'all look at it. Because it starts out at 37,000, only it's 1,500, almost $1,500 with options. But it starts out at a different price.
that's just MSRP, that's the state bid.
For all those
Well,
options.
We don't have state bid, that's just a dealership.
it's just a dealership bid,
That's
yeah.
just the deal that he's given us.
Yeah, that's the deal he's given us. Actually, I don't think they've even put out the bid state prices yet, anyway.
I wish you would have spelled that out a little better.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, I agree that,
I mean,
that was the price when we talked, he said, this is what, I do remember that, because that's how I figured my budget was on that number. I don't get what
yep.
I guess we could play it safe and
34, 39.
approve the 39 one and
I don't know where that,
I mean, does that dude have a cell phone number? You could just call him
yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see this real quick. Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
You wheeler dealer.
Yeah, I can call him and put it on speakerphone right here.
He buys a vehicle about every month. He knows how to handle these people.
Is the Bill Jones who you've been talking to?
Yes. Yeah, that's the. Hopefully it'll answer.
Hey Bill, this is Jason Harper, magistrate in Logan County, Kentucky. I've got you on speakerphone. We was opening up the bid for the police cruiser for the Durango.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we had a question on the bid page. The bid was $34,971, and then on the back page,
yes,
the back page, the total price was $39,330.
Yes, what you have there is the invoice with on the top right-hand corner that has Don Franklin on it. I'm sorry, on the top left-hand corner has Don Franklin, and on the right-hand top it should say bid. So $34,971 is the bid on those vehicles.
Okay, so
the POC, which is the one that has $39,371 or whatever on the bottom, that's the MSRP.
Okay, thank you. We just needed clarification.
My bid is $34,971.
Okay, we just needed clarification on that before we accepted this bid.
Yes, yes. Well, it's really funny, and I didn't mean to make it so confusing when I started doing this, but I forget who it was. I sold 10 of them out in Iowa, and when I got my check, it was like $4,000 a unit higher, or $3,000 a unit higher. And it's because they wrote me a check for the $39,000 on each unit.
We ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, you won't be getting that big of a tip from us.
Well, no, I sent them a check back. As a matter of fact, we just sent the check back to them and they reissued the check. But, no, it's $34,971.
July 1, if I have to wait till July 1, he'll hold them till July 1.
Okay, we greatly appreciate that.
He has them in stock and good.
I appreciate you guys. I enjoyed doing business with you all again.
Okay, thank you very much. The sheriff will be getting a hold of you.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
He has them in stock right now. So he said if he won the bid, he would hold them till July. That's what we need.
What?
No, Dodge Durango.
Dodge.
Oh, I thought you said Ford.
Yeah.
Ford.
How many miles does the Durangos have on them now? Jason's probably has the most.
Jason has 50, I think, something around 50, 55. But he's had his for 3 years. Of course, Clint's and the rest of them got last year, so they're still.
So we got 4 now?
Yeah. I have 2 cars that are on the road today that are over 150,000 miles and are the rear wheel drive Chargers. And we're still we're struggling with getting parts for some of the Explorers and different things, but with these 3 coming in, once they get put on the road, the fleet will be at 100%. The best we've ever had. So parts and costs and stuff like that, and the budget line item for maintenance has gone down some because of the newer vehicles. So we're just finishing up getting some of the older ones out.
How many are you? Is it
3.
We still need delivery date for July 1?
Yeah, if that's court's desire, I can hold it out to July 1.
Okay.
I could use them tomorrow, but I understand the process.
What's our other option to buy them tomorrow? Is there an option?
Is it part of any of the vehicles that you're going to take out? bad enough to where it could endanger the police?
Well, they're,
The public?
they're wore out, yes. I mean, like, one particular vehicle, we had to take to the shop the frame was been on. We can't realign the vehicle because the frame had a twist in it that we wasn't aware of. So, it's still on the road. It's being used every day. They assured me that it was, okay to drive, but it's just gonna eat tires and alignment up until we get the twist out of the frame. But they had a bunch of cars in front of us and they couldn't get it on the rack. But I'm really down to, the SRO had to go into a vehicle that we had parked 6 months ago because his Explorer rack and pinion went out and we can't find a rack and pinion for it. So he's okay in that one for temporarily, but I do have a road unit driving one that's in pretty rough shape.
The worst thing is we get them July 1, you won't have them till the end of July.
Probably, yeah.
So is there like an emergency thing you can do?
Can we buy one and get 2 other ones delivered July 1?
I could. I mean, I'd have to pull money from different parts of the budget. Some would come from health insurance line items and things like that. So I know we try to stay away from that. But Scotty had even mentioned that he had some money that was left over in his budget that he would be willing to let me use. That he's just going to turn back over into the general fund at the end of the budget.
Well, we discussed later, and we said we bid it, that it would be for July 1. I think we're just going to have to manage on and not do, I don't think it's good practice. Unless it's a true emergency, I don't think it's a good practice to be finagling the budget to meet your non-emergency needs.
Right, yeah. Well, other than the one car, yeah.
Discussion, but if we have units on the road and tires going to get wore out just a little bit sooner than normal,
Right, that's
3
yeah.
months, not a year and a half, then we just, we need to stick to our budget and make it July 1.
Okay. Right.
And, and he might be willing to deliver those 30 days earlier with the understanding he's going to invoice.
Right.
Get them paid until July 1.
Well, I was gonna look into that. I mean,
I'll be getting them letter.
Right, yeah.
And, I don't see anything wrong with issuing a purchase order
Okay.
for a July 1
Check.
check.
Okay.
If he wants to deliver it to you in hand a few days early so you can start decaling them,
Yeah.
that would be great. If not,
Okay.
that's okay too.
Okay. No, I appreciate it greatly. I mean,
So let's buy them. We got to wait.
That's right.
I make a motion that we accept the bid from Don Franklin Chevrolet.
$34,971.
From Don Franklin Chevrolet for
yeah.
$34,971.
I think they sell
For
everything.
3 of them.
Second.
Okay, do I have a second?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Barry seconded?
Yes, sir.
Okay, question now. I doubt if there's any more questions, but let's have roll call then.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Buy
Thank you.
one before July 1, but we go.
Okay, I've got the next item of business is to retract order number 23 from April 12th, 2022 fiscal court minutes, and then to rediscuss these annual bids on janitorial supplies. Because you got 4, 5, 6 locations buying stuff.
Okay. I'll make a motion to retract order number 23 from April 12th, 2022 minutes.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Now, is there any question? If not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Joe, you was out last week, and I want to tell them we can either accept one of these bids or rebid it. So next item of business is discuss the annual bid for the janitor supplies for February, for fiscal year 2022 and 23. And I think there's two options we can do. We can either accept the bid or reject both bids and rebid it.
Yeah, I think that, you know, we put it out for bid, we got two options to choose from. And, you know, there's a dollar here, a dollar there difference. You know, I ain't gonna hassle over a dollar or two on an item here and an item there. I think we all just pick one and go on, is my personal opinion. I think, I'll make a motion to, go ahead and make a motion that we accept CMSI's bid for 22-23 janitorial supply. Logan Fiscal.
Second.
I don't see a problem with it, you go.
No, I mean, you got to accept the best one.
Yeah.
It's
Well, we've had,
impossible to differentiate between the two on a daily basis.
what we have to go by, I guess, is that we have been dealing with that company and they've had good experiences.
Yeah. A dollar here and a dollar there, you're trying to get equal
Yeah.
to between everybody following the look between the two.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, let's have roll call then.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is retract order number 14 from the March 8th fiscal court meetings, and that's talking about telephone line down to jail that was going to continue to work through the internet. On order number 14. And then I got a proposal from AT&T for a hardwired phone.
Wait a minute. Why are we retracting that order for?
Well, it was internet based somehow. There's a reason that I had a concern over it.
What's the concern, Phil?
The concern is that we're in the dark over there a couple of times this year already because of internet failure of the phone system failing. We requested a hard line, a wired line, POTS line, a plain old telephone service is what they call it. The same setup that EOC has. They have the POTS line over there too, I do believe. So we just feel more comfortable with a hardwired line coming into that jail rather than depending on the internet if it goes down or not. Now, I've been told the internet didn't go down but maybe 4 days, 4 times. Is that right, Tyler?
The EPB checked and your ONT, which is the box that the fiber feeds, hadn't went down in a year.
Had what?
Has not gone down in a year, nearly a year.
Okay, we've been without service anyway, regardless of whether AT&T went down. We went in the dark for 8 hours over there with no communication with the outside community.
So on, just for, you know, talking about your emergency process, so if your phone, if you have emergency and you go to your phone system and for some crazy reason that it's not working at that time, then your next option is to just to do a plain old phone that you go to Walmart buy and stick in your control room, right? Or do y'all not now have a handheld radio that gets you directly to EOC?
We do now.
Okay. So, heck, that's a better option of all of them, I think, personally. But if you want a phone line, you know, it gets delivered to the jail via fiber, yes. Does it require power? Yes, but we do have a generator, and you can get a battery backup to leave it up live. I just don't, anytime we have a local person that can supply a POTS line, and we can pay them that employ local people, I'm gonna get them to do it, especially if it's cheaper versus a corporation. So, I mean, and I think we've already introduced enough redundancy, you know, with the phone system, if it goes down. And as a matter of fact, the phone system is supposed to pull over to cellular as part of our bid
Yeah,
spec.
that's what I was getting ready to ask. Why did that?
And that
why
failed.
did that not roll?
And that failed.
Yeah, so we need Net Green Solutions in there answering why that failed. That's a totally separate issue, but I don't want, I'm like, Tyler, I didn't say I got anything against AT&T, but we have kind of phased most of their services out, other than they're the only ones that want to deal with 911. So if there's a different option, I'd rather go that route. If we're using radio communication to get us to the 911 system, if we have a different line that's provided by the electric plant service, I mean, it's a different line, right? Different system.
But it's still internet-based.
Yeah, I understand that, but, you know, like I said.
I mean, if that's such a good deal, why don't you have it at the EOC?
Because EOC is an emergency service and they,
Federal communication.
the
Well-
telco does not want to provide with that.
If we have a ride inside the jail, a medical emergency inside the jail, I would think that would qualify for an emergency.
I'm on the side with Phil on this side of it. I've had too many times internets go down, so two-way radios mess up. I'm on the side with Phil on this side. Your line at home, most of the time, if somebody don't cut it, it's up and working. Your cell phone, your radios, your internet is not 100% of the time compared to a line. And I'll put that in the form of a motion, because I sort of agree with Phil on that. I think it needs to have a hardwired telephone, one line in the system, in the jail.
No, I was just saying that, and I appreciate that. You know, I don't run the jail, but it looks like there's already redundancy there. You have your Net Green Solution line, you have, in this current situation, an EPB line, and they both are internet-based, but they are separate. That's number two. And now you've got a radio communication. I mean, how many more do you got to put in there to feel comfortable?
So are we getting rid of one of them?
You're substituting one. You're substituting
Well, I don't think EPB ever installed theirs, right?
No, they never had installed it yet, so.
Okay.
We're talking $30 a month
They went.
difference. If you
They went and they came down to the jail, and the technician came down and said, this is not a hard-wired copper line coming in like EOC, that they were going to piggyback off of an internet cable some sort of way.
Yeah, because their service is internet. I mean, they don't have copper.
Right.
So what's the cost?
$30 difference, it looks like.
What is the cost?
65 versus 30.
Quote from AT&T is $65 a month, and they call it a POTS line.
You're right.
Plain old telephone.
So that's under $1,000, that's under the quote of having $1,000, right?
Yeah.
But you also have to know that whenever it comes in from EPB, the fiber, there's a box, just like on the side of your house when you have service AT&T. From there, it goes copper, and that is considered POTS, plain old telephone system. You go to Walmart, buy a phone, you get a dial tone.
But it still feeds off the internet.
It feeds off fiber.
Fiber, okay.
Feeds off fiber.
So is it,
So in order to have that ONT has to be powered in order for you to have the phone line active or your internet active. And when I checked with EPB, the last time, they have reports, last time that the ONT was offline with nothing was 330 days ago or something. That was probably a power failure. Generator popped that on. You know.
So what was the system down for? What was the failure?
You talking about when he was
Net
without phone for 8 hours?
Net green,
I don't know.
Did nobody ever give us an explanation?
But what was they had within 8 hours to get it back going or something?
yeah, that's in the telephone contract, that they have 8 hours to get it up and
It's
going.
also in the contract that we got backup cellular service too. That didn't happen.
It all failed, but I'm pretty sure the copper line won't fail.
However, it's gonna die for a second if y'all don't want it. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll second it.
Okay, wait, I haven't retracted the motion yet.
Oh,
Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, let y'all do that. That was Tyler and Thomas, they might not retract it.
Oh, I was just asking. I just, you know, You know, I'm not a huge fan of AT&T. It's,
I'm not either.
it's just.
I did away with
Figure out
mine.
Why we're doing that. I mean, it's not a money issue. We're talking about $30, is that what y'all said, more?
Do you have a landline at
No,
home?
I ain't got no landline.
I can go to my internet, or I can go to a cell phone, or I can go to a two-way radio. And every time I pick my landline up, I can talk.
I have a landline at home too.
You should have.
It goes over
I
fiber.
ain't got
It's
no
never.
landline.
Yeah,
I tell you one, I ain't had a landline in a long time, but
Yeah,
every time my electric fence popped, when I did have it, and it had been raining, my phone popped. You could hear yourself think, you know, but everything's got problems, right? I don't know
I
anything
agree.
that's 100%.
I agree with that, but I have one in case somebody wants to call me, they
But I
can
know-
look in the book, they don't know my cell number, everybody don't.
I know when I had a landline.
Okay,
It
let's
don't
move on.
matter who it
Yeah,
was.
let's move on.
It's 11:44.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
I'm
it
with
took days to get fixed, you know?
so we're not, you're not wanting to add a third or fourth or fifth line, you're wanting to replace
One
a
for
fiber
another.
line
Right.
for another.
Right.
And the other one never was installed. It was a motion to install it. We approved many court meetings ago.
Two or
I don't know.
three, probably.
Longer than
The last court meeting, I think.
Probably the last or the one before.
that. To add
I
that
think it was the
other
one
line.
before the last.
Okay.
March the 8th, it says.
Yeah, March.
Yeah, March 8th.
14th of March.
Well, that seems like many months ago to me. I knew we'd made a motion to add another line in the control tower for, or whatever that's called.
So the-
Control room for
so-
safety.
Barry made a motion.
No, we gotta
Gotta be
retract
retracted.
mine first. I was out of line. I'm sorry.
We'll make a motion to retract the motion.
You and Thomas, are you and Tyler the one who made it?
I made a motion to buy Boy Scout camp, but you made a motion to retract it, man.
That's right.
That's what I'm just saying, I don't have to make that motion to retract it.
I'm gonna get Robert Earl to make his motion in a minute, y'all hurry up.
All right.
Let's go, y'all make the decision.
Okay.
And I'm just telling you, I'm not gonna make that motion because I don't see the need in it, but I'm not gonna fight you, you know, over it either. It don't make me no difference. And where we got one.
Right now, we got Barry with a motion and
No,
No, because we haven't retracted.
I've gotta retract that because you haven't, retracted order 14 yet. We gotta retract it first, I guess.
your motion was to retract 14.
Well, it is now. It wasn't a while ago, but it is now. Let's go.
All right, I
I make a motion that we retract order number 14.
second.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
No.
Might not pass.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
No.
Chick,
Yeah.
I just, not against you, I just.
No, that's fine.
See no need.
That's good.
I'm not smart enough.
It's
to
one of our
understand.
agree-disagree moments, Phil.
Yeah, that's right.
There'll be a lot of that probably.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion now that we go with the pot system at the jail, $65 a month plus taxes, and it is a hard line to go into the jail, and I guess it's with AT&T, correct? It does not say.
It is correct.
Yeah, here it is,
Yeah.
it's with AT&T. Put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Now, I'm gonna support that because we need a second line in there.
That's right.
Okay, we need a second line in there. I'll support that. I ain't for it. I don't think that's our best option, but I'm gonna support it. The jailer says we need a second line in there for safety.
What does Morse code cost?
Nothing. Free, you know,
we can
spam
get that set
radio.
up.
I mean, I'm just right
Robert
next
Earl
door.
had to teach us how to
Holler
use
at
Morse
you.
code.
Okay, we had a motion and a second.
Yes.
Any more questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes. Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yeah.
Thank you, Court.
You're welcome. Did we knock out 5 and 6 right there?
We did knock that 5 and 26.
Okay, I called a couple of you, and the next item of business is retract order number 32 on April 12th, 22 fiscal court minutes, and then next item of business retract number 33 of the April 12th court meeting.
You'll do it, I'll make a motion to retract order number 32 of the April 12th, 2022 physical court minutes.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second, now question. Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you wanna go ahead and retract number 33 now?
If that's what you want. I make a motion to retract order number 33 of the April 12th, 2022 physical court minutes.
Second.
Okay, any questions? If not, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
You have the correct figure?
Yeah. Only thing I ain't got wrote down there is, county attorney. Okay.
We'll be out here. No, we'll be out here.
About 10, 15 minutes, as long as we don't have any real crazy questions.
Okay.
I seen you had that deed right there. You got the right numbers, Tyler?
Yes, I do.
Bring it up.
Okay, I make a motion to approve, set the elected officials' annual salaries for magistrates, county attorney, and coroner for a new term beginning in January of 2023. And that'd be magistrates, $22,587.11, county attorney, $45,000, coroner, $22,587.11.
And just to cover that in the motion, you could include in that, Janice, that the county attorney increases would be based upon increase in workload in the last 12 years and setting a rate consistent with the counties around us, just covering in case anybody comes back in the future and wonders why.
What was the county attorney's rate?
Same as, we didn't change it. Here.
We changed ours because of the.
I would left that one, because we didn't track that one.
We got two.
Yeah, we retracted the whole motion, but I went ahead and repeated the same.
Yeah, same amount. I just didn't hear you say, that's what I was looking for.
I got you. Yeah. You didn't see it? Okay, all right.
Did you get a second?
No, I didn't get a second.
That's good.
Okay, got a motion and a second, now it's question. Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
I thought you was on this board. Airport.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm holding up. I make a motion to approve said elected official deputies and assistants for deputy judge / finance officer, deputy coroners, and assistant county attorney for the new term beginning January 1st, 2023. Deputy judge, $59,582. Assistant county attorney, $24,000. Deputy coroners, $5,563.92.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second, now is there any questions?
All right, Dave.
That's the budget bill.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Tyler, I need that back.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
We good? I'll make a motion to approve the reappointment of Steve Delahaye to the Logan County Airport Board for a 4-year term ending on 5/10/2026.
Second.
Okay, got a motion on the next item of business, and that's reappoint Steve Delahaye to the Logan County Airport Board for 4 years ending 5/10/26. And I had a second. Questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
High,
Yes.
Logan,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the next is the knowledge of receipt of the Logan County Corporate Extension Service Budget Plan for 22 and 23.
Move to acknowledge.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second to acknowledge the receipt of this budget. Any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
High,
Yes.
Logan,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business, and Stefan, discuss waivers of landscape buffers for the visual screening, filed by Miles Farms LLC.
And this is something we've already talked about, that we are going, that people are allowed to do this, yeah, so that's something we,
Review, so review allows for a review process.
I got you.
And this is no county roads connected with this, correct?
Morning.
Good morning. I don't know Barry's first
I
time.
don't think so.
Should be a good afternoon.
I think these waivers are on the backside of the Montgomery Farm.
Yes, sir.
Both of them?
It's just south of Kemp's Farm, actually. So this is a pretty minimal view impact. It's about 1 mile east of Watermelon Road. It's 2 parcels, one landowner who is in support of the project and didn't want the buffer. So this is the only landowner that we're pursuing a waiver for. And it's under.
I talked to Deborah, so she was, I told her that we wanted to keep it around the roads, and she said, I don't think mine is, so I just making sure. So, I'm good with it.
And so if you have to tell me where we're at, I'm going out, Watermelon Road and take a left on,
Her farm is probably gonna be off Montgomery Road. It's just the one, the Vale Farm.
Yep.
You know, the one that runs all the way out to 96, the Vale Farm. If you go in front of Nutrien now, turn on J. Montgomery, go all the way back to the very end of it, you got the Montgomery Farm, and this will be to the east of it.
Mm-hmm.
So really, that's gonna be on Montgomery Road. It doesn't run around the water.
Yeah.
what do you mean by that? I don't go over there.
The only visual receptors that we see that would be impacted were owned by the landowner themselves. Other than that, it's not visible from Watermelon Road.
Different Montgomery Road. This is J.
Okay.
So this is two
Two
properties.
parcels under the same land. Here's a map down here. It's in red.
So they're opting out of all of this right here.
Correct.
Okay. Their land, they can do what they want.
Well, we need to make sure it protects the visibility of others, though. It's not just that's what they want.
And this
We want to
here-
make sure that it protects the visibility of the adjacent property owners and from a county road perspective, if you were standing on the county road, what does this look like?
Be judging off that map, and they own all that wide open land.
So we're looking at the area in the red.
Yeah. That's the
That's
buffer.
correct.
In the county, so where's the county road?
I'm turning it
That's the rest of the elevator.
Yeah, so if you turn it north to south.
You gotta go on up.
All right, so this right here, that would be like AP Miller right here.
Right.
And so there's a road right here, but there ain't no road. I mean, there's a road right here. I think, what is that, Green Downs Road?
Green Downs.
Yeah, this is Green Downs Road right here. This would be 96. That's Green Downs.
But Miles are not participating in the solar project. This is just will be on the,
Right.
for the Montgomery estate.
So this is the road then? This is the J. Montgomery Road? Is that right?
So that is J. Montgomery Road going through there. The areas to the north of J. Montgomery is buffered by a large forested area. The only residences within view are Miles Farm LLC.
Right, right.
So what about back here at AP Miller? There's no residences here.
There's a farm in between her and AP Miller though. Between Miles and AP Miller.
That's her parcel as well. That parcel in between is
Oh, okay.
is also owned by Miles Farms.
Okay.
There's a little leg of it that hits AP Miller right there. If AP Miller keeps on going, so this is AP Miller, then it makes a curve to the right, Barry, and a curve to the left, is what I'm showing, if I'm following that map.
Now, wait a minute, that's Lynn Dawson's. I think this is Lynn Dawson's farm right in here.
So Lynn Dawson would be to the north. See that parcel in between over here?
Well, you're gonna have to explain something. You done lost me.
So this is Lynn. Lynn parcel.
Okay, Lynn's there. So this is the Miles part?
Yeah, this is Miles and this is Miles as well.
I thought they were all over here.
But they own all of this.
Okay. I'm sorry, Thomas.
Educate me again. Educate me again.
Okay, it is then. Lynn's was here. I was up. But this is the Miles. It's here and it comes around in behind that. So what is this road here?
I'm not sure that that's a road.
Or is that,
That's
oh,
a
that might
parcel.
That's just the property boundary.
It's like the boundary line.
Okay.
So we're talking about just removing, not doing that right in here, basically.
So, I mean, I think a fair, for me, I mean, I think I'd be okay making a decision right here, right now, but, I mean, I don't see no emergency that we do it in the moment. You know, I would rather travel the road and just look at it, make sure I'm making an informed decision. I don't have to come back and retract a motion. So,
Okay.
you know, I mean, because Barry understands it, he farms.
Well, no,
there.
I didn't
don't.
get that one there because I wasn't aware that they were underneath it. I thought they were all to the east of it.
So I'd like to just wait till the next court meeting, and I think that would be just probably a good practice for a standard of moving forward. This is the only one he's pursuing, he said, but if we had another one, we probably should just at least drive it, go out there and look at it. I know you've called that running.
Yeah, but
But what about the other side, you know?
that's right.
But the only road that you would ever be able to see this buffer from would be this road right here. Is that right?
That's not a road.
This is
Well,
the
that's a
road.
road, but no, you can see it on the 18.
You would see it off of
Right there, that's AP Miller.
at the very end of AP Miller.
And then you would see it on J. Montgomery.
But you would be looking.
I think it'd be appropriate to just pass it in the next meeting to let
Yeah.
you do a site visit.
I do think that'd be great.
Could you forward me a copy of that?
Yep.
Right
Yep.
there?
And I can give you a little bit more detail.
Yeah, just show me where I'm driving and show the red line that's asking for the exclusion. Barry, you can take a picture of it? Yeah.
Just the old civil cases, he would really, a lot of the time, fly over land issues. It's not uncommon to take a break to make it work.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. I mean, that's the intent of the process, but let's take a little time to make sure we inform the decision.
Thank you. And then, we're not currently pursuing the inducement resolution, but I also wanted to take this opportunity to address the court and the public about the intent of the IRB. The intent of the IRB from the beginning was to bring more local benefits to the community, to the county, more than they would have otherwise received. The project is not contingent on the IRB itself. So the permitting process for the project is through the state's siting board. But the inducement resolution and the pilot, the only way to get the pilot approved was through an IRB, and that's why we pursued the IRB. We have since been transparent with the court about the economics and the tax projections, showing that the majority of that benefit would go to the county and schools, not Silicon Ranch. And I think at the next fiscal court would like to address the inducement resolution if the county feels prepared to, having reviewed all the documents.
So what you're saying is, if the county chose not to do an IRB, which I don't foresee that, I'm not predicting anything, solar farm's still coming regardless?
Correct.
Okay.
And the solar farm was always coming regardless of the IRB.
Contingent on the approval of the
Well,
state.
of the state,
Right.
yeah.
You had to do that
So,
anyway.
as far as on our end, there's nothing
Yeah.
left. It's either we,
Where are you at on your application process with the siting board?
We submitted our application with the siting board. They have submitted initial round of questions, about the vegetative buffer, about this ordinance waiver, noise impacts. So we're addressing all those. We're doing additional analysis and should be submitting the responses by this week. And then there'll probably be another round of responses 2 weeks after that. And then there would be a public hearing in June. And after that public hearing, I think there will be another meeting in Frankfurt. So at the end of the approval would be by September, late September, from the state, the final decision.
So, assuming that timeline is adhered to, when do y'all anticipate starting construction?
Assuming that timeline, we would want to start as soon as possible after receiving the approval. So have work ready for any site clearing, any demolition that would need to happen soon after that. So around early October or late September.
You talking about starting the project or construction?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think that you got to have a meeting or two.
Yeah. There's things that have to happen and approvals that need to be received before that happens.
Yeah. Okay, and I was sitting up here, I couldn't hear everything that was said, but I think, Tyler, you asked him if they were going to go through with or without RFP. And he said yes. And I'm sure whoever was reporting on court heard that, but I didn't hear it. So.
Okay.
all right, so we just need to push that waiver to the next meeting, and we'll make a decision then. And he's asking to be on the agenda for the next meeting for the IRB.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you for
Sorry
your time.
sit here so long.
No worries.
So long for
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Okay, annual salt auction's coming up. It comes up at about April every year to May, and I think the first day is May the 9th for the salt auction. I just want the court's permission to be able to participate in this over summer line auction through CAECO for 120 tons of salt.
Make a motion to approve the Logan County Road Department judge to be a part of the 2022 online salt auction held by CAECO.
Second.
Okay, questions? Not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Logan.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is Acknowledge receipt of the 22-23 budget.
I make a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the 22-23 budget.
Second.
I was going to do a little reading on it, but y'all,
Yeah, I think if we want to talk about the budget, I think we ought to have a workshop. I mean,
Yeah, we do, and I mean, there's nothing that we can change right now until
No.
we acknowledge it, so. Huh?
Yeah, sure is.
32 million? Where y'all getting that
Well,
money at? Y'all bringing it now?
no.
That's got ARPA funds in it.
Use ARPA funds is in there, a lot of pass-through money.
Still 32 million, either which way you look at it.
And,
That's what the budget is.
26
Well,
million.
and that's what I want y'all to understand too. That's the reason I was kind of going to go through some of it. We got a lot of unpaid liabilities out there.
It's just a mess. The budget's all messed up.
Now, as far as income,
Next matter,
there's
spend it.
moderate income,
No comment.
and the carryovers, I mean, it could change quite a bit, Joe, between now and the end of June. Either toward the good or toward the worse. But if you go through it, the county judge's office equipment added a couple thousand because you're going to have a new county judge in case it's something that we might need in this office or he feels like a need. Joe asked for a little increase in his office supplies, $500, just small. Yeah. And, well, when it comes to new budget, there's really no carryover. Yeah, but you didn't spend it this year.
It's the last one, because I'm going to put in, update my computers once we have an IT guy.
If you passed a law, at the State Department, that the extra binding and document storage, that fee that Scotty's collecting down there, that couldn't no longer be in the general fund. That was funded at $55,000. That it had to go into a special fund, so that's coming out of the general fund and going into a fund of its own. Look like a lot of the association dues went up. There's a couple of line items that Steve's probably going to talk to the board about as far as personnel at some point. One of them's at the sheriff processing clerk, and another one's the bailiff salaries.
is that something you're going to talk about?
You
said something about salaries?
About
Bailiff?
staff, I think.
As more staff versus, okay, just more staff.
Vehicle fuel at the sheriff's department, we raised it from 95 to 115,000, just cause of the price of gas. I felt pretty safe on everybody else's budget. The sheriff maintenance, the sheriff's maintenance in his building, we raised that from 15 to 18. On kind of the fact that it felt like it needed to be painted and the outside sealed a little bit tighter. Sheriff motor vehicle, we raised that to 156,000, but it looked like we bought cars today a little bit cheaper.
This still isn't the court's budget, right? This isn't the court's budget until the first reading. Today, we're just acknowledging it.
We're just acknowledging.
Okay.
Well, at the next meeting, we gotta have a first reading on what's here. and then it can be looked at, okay? I did add in the quarter's budget $30,000 for a good used vehicle. And again, the association dues went up just a little bit. We did raise the treasurer's office supply from $4,000 to $4,500. Treasurer's office equipment, there's a need for a copier, but I think we've already taken care of that. We raised that from $2,200 to $9,200.
Well, you had that project in mind of what we're gonna do for file storage.
Yeah, file storage too. Yeah. Got all the stuff still in there for the IT person. Elections next year, there'll be 2 elections instead of 1. So everything doubled in the elections this year. One new item in the budget is we separated out the project that we've approved on the courthouse and put $200,000 in that line item. We inflated that just a little bit to really a total of $150 for courthouse renewals and repairs along with that project because of the 65-35 route. The Judicial Center pretty much stayed the same. Other county buildings and repair and maintenance, we went to raise that from 150 to 250 because we know that the possibility will be working on the coroner's office. Contract ambulance service went down about $6,000. That's a good thing, isn't it?
I thought they had an increase.
They did like 3%.
3%.
We had budgeted last year.
Okay.
Of course, here's $58,000 is just a pass through. It's Logan County Tourist and Convention Commission payments. We budgeted 58, but that's according to what comes in, what you pay out. Restroom for conferences, we put 2,000 more in there because of new elected people. Road fund, contract bridges, be $200,000 worth of money next year. We want expenditure of that money on that bridge that we talked about today till after the first of the year, or first of the new fiscal year. And so we'll have another $80,000 we can apply for next year. We did raise crushed stone a little bit, $5,000. New road equipment, we got $350,000 in that budget because of the 65-35 route. And we ordered a mowing machine for the road department. It's going to be around $200,000.
Our road budget's bigger than the state. Logan County. Do we have more miles of road? Shouldn't.
Okay, the jail, we pretty much covered it the last time, other than might be able to increase that one line item to that $4 and something per day a little bit later. Economic development, there was
I fussed about the J turn up there.
$300,000 that we hadn't paid out, our commitment to those bridges, that's still in there. That makes that number come to 484,200 with our total contribution, the grant match, and an incentive that we promised a company here in town. Okay, got the fair board arena set apart in here at $375,000, which is was a match that we promised we would make a commitment for toward the outside arena. And then CDBG grant is $200,000 on that CDBG CV grant. That's another $200,000. That's just a pass through. And we did have a grant. Let me look at the LGA. The 335, 361, and Thomas, that's that grant through the state of Kentucky that we have to receive, and that just passed through too. Solid waste budget pretty much the same. It did have a little contingency in it of $282,611. Your parks and recreational project, we voted to fund that $250,000 a year, and with the interest withdrawal, that's $751,424.
Real money now, we get there.
Only thing, and occupational tax fund, I'm not showing any contingency, because I had to go back and raise a little income to offset some of that other. Economic development, revolving loans, $153,836, and I wish we could find something that we could do with that. That's been here since I've been judge, but it's got strings attached to it. The 911 needs some console work and a paging system, quotes. So that came to $267,522. Those two quotes did. So I put $380,000 in there for other needs. The insurance, the budget this year, $1,333,243 for the total budget, and there's. It looked like we're saving money every year though, and that's just get it insurance funded. And then the last one you see is county clerk storage fee fund of $50,100. And then the American Rescue Fund, we had to break those projects out, and the budget and the expenses to the lawyer, that leaves $693,233. And that one, special reserve is $4,189,940. But we got a lot of stuff in there that we, including the ambulance, we ain't paid for yet. Hopefully the tractor will be here pretty quick.
We still got some blacktop too to pay for, right? We hadn't paid the block, was it?
There's $200,000, and $411,000 in bills.
What's that?
Our bills were just been about $50,000 this month, but we paid.
Okay, so some payment, was that all the paving?
You what?
I don't know how far.
Has all the paving been paid for, all of the blacktop?
Jason said, yeah.
We got some more that we're gonna do in the next few weeks.
Okay.
But everything that's been done, a bill has been submitted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I say that, I think so.
I'll second Jason's motion to acknowledge the receipt of the budget.
I think Barry already did.
We way ahead of
You
you.
did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. It was a while ago, we forgot.
Okay,
It's been so long ago, I mean, it's been 2 weeks ago, I don't know.
no other questions?
Yeah, I got something.
No, hold on, we need to motion.
Oh, I thought we done voted on it, she said.
No, we'll go ahead and vote now.
Who's second?
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yeah. Now, Robert Earl.
Now then, I got something. I got a road I'd like to make a county road. It's where the winery is off of Liberty Church Road. And according to the judge, Joe, we might already own it anyway. But one of y'all have to explain to them what all this is. And that's,
It's one where it's already on in the platted subdivision, it's not been formally added. I think Logan just recently found out that it was platted back in '97, so similar to what we did with one of Tyler's recently, just have that formal hearing to add whatever's on that plat, and I think he all he wanted was less than that, so that platted road would be fine.
So if it's KRS law, why do we have to have a hearing?
That's the way y'all typically done it, to
Okay.
just get it formally.
Well, I'd like to have it in the minutes,
Okay.
Thomas.
Make a motion.
If you go back, we can go back looking for some things sometime, especially when they took on all them little roads that, when they put the bypass in, and it don't clearly state, you know, what I'm talking about, this road has been on, or this road taken off. Another thing we run into, Thomas, is when, I think, when was it, man, in the early '80s, you wasn't here then, you just a baby then.
we thankful already.
In the early '80s, they done a massive road area. And it's hard to track, you know, what they were talking about in those massive road hearings. And basically what it was then, the state sent somebody around to look at all the roads and made a decision when a road became a driveway. And
Well, I think something that we've got to address is that basically what you're saying is the KRS says if the subdivision board approves the plat, it is a county road.
It has to be added, which is the formality of what you're going to be doing.
Okay, but there's got to be some extra provisions or something where, yeah, if they approve the plat and then they approve it before it even starts, you know, getting cut. So I mean, I think we need to have somebody there when it gets
The road
cut.
foreman has to sign off on it and make sure, so we do have insight into that. And if you remember when we talked about
Yeah,
this,
the road foreman goes when it's done.
I don't think it goes on until all that formality has occurred. So Paul didn't realize that law was in effect at the time, and kind of said that he would sign off on it even if the road wasn't up to perspective, because it does require the road be up to our.
It's all, Kelly's already said, I
Yeah,
know
we can talk
going as
about
far as the winery,
Yeah,
but
you-
he said it's already approved like it is, it's already ready.
Yeah.
It's nothing, needs nothing done to it.
Yeah.
Kelly's told me that time
happens?
too.
What
I know
happens?
going that far.
what happens on a lot of this, if a farm going up for auction, Thomas, they'll plant it off. You know what I'm talking about, you know, and the planning board approved, you know, the plant. And in a lot of situations, the farm goes back in at one farm. You know what I'm talking about, you know, they might
Well, I
give.
haven't driven, I don't know, I know there's 4 or 5 people, I know 4, probably 5 live on it.
Well, one of the situations with this farm, it did sell them tracks.
Well,
Yeah, well, I say we go ahead and move forward with it then.
Make your motion.
Make a motion to have a road hearing to add.
okay, that's what, all right, I'll make a motion to have a road hearing on Longview Pike off of Liberty Church Road in order to put it on the county road system.
Longview
Is that
Pike
good
is the
enough?
name of the road?
Is it, you said Longview Pike, this is Longview Lane.
Well, Longview Lane, okay.
It's
Longview Lane.
We might change it to Pike.
So is it the whole road?
What's the
Off of
length
Liberty Church Road.
Do we have the footage?
You have the footage?
Yeah.
How many feet is it?
That's what you need.
Oh, it's 55 feet.
It's called Longview Lane, right?
Yes, that's what's on this
Okay.
map.
Right. Yeah, that's the name of it. I just said Pike. That's what it is.
I second your motion.
Okay, got a motion and a second. To have this road hearing. Any more questions?
Where's the winery? I just need to know how to get there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, look, if the question's been answered, let's have a roll call.
Davenport?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
High?
Yes.
Bolden?
Yes.
Chick?
Yes.
On that note, if that's the case, why have we built subdivisions and then we went back and inspected them and said, no, we can't put it on the county road system, it's not up to specs, if we've been checking them all along?
The system's failed. It's flawed. That's why
They
we're
weren't checking.
fighting to get stuff on right now.
Everybody's making assumptions that somebody else is doing something. That's what's happened between our building, our planning, and
We gotta fix that.
zoning,
Yeah.
We
and
have
our
to
roads. You know, there is, again, it's a KRS law, but nobody's following it.
I've got Canyon Run with 100 lots and 50 houses.
You need a copy of this. I don't know.
I'm trying to get over.
Robert Earl, you're up.
I make a motion with adjourn.
Second.
Can't go nowhere. Wait. Roll call.
Davenport?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yes.
Bolden?
Yes.
Chick?